bullshit and start fucking
Oh,
updating
man.
Windows. That's a joke I say. I always say Aaron Greenberg be watching my streams and decides to, hey, put the restart.
Pull the trigger. Yep.
Restart Windows on them.
There we go.
All right. Oh, wait, hold on.
We're live. We're live.
I have it on the Wi-Fi. Fuck, I forgot to connect my Ethernet cable. So give me a second.
It's okay. It's okay.
There we go. I was wondering, I'm like, why is this so slow? It's fucking on the Wi-Fi. All right. All right. Give me a second.
All right.
Okay.
I got to show up. We're live.
It's live? All right.
Yep. We're live.
All right. I'm just wondering why it's still connected to the Wi-Fi and didn't connect to my Ethernet cable. See, man.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. You're on Ethernet. It's going to be a delay. That's all.
It's goddamn Aaron Greenberg. Goddamn Microsoft. Always attacking me.
Yeah.
All right. So, hey, what's up, chat? Are we live? Y'all hearing me? Let's make sure it's going through.
Yeah, I got the video in there in front of me. It's
man, nice polo.
Yeah, my thing is, you know what? My thing is just spinning and loading. What the hell?
No, I can see you and hear you. So
you can
ignore
see me?
that.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even, is the chat moving? I don't see nothing.
The chat moving, everything. Just refresh your screen, but we see you. You're live.
All right, I'm gonna refresh my screen. Hopefully this don't mess up.
Yeah.
Okay, everything's going through. All right, all right. I don't know what's going on. All right, okay, now my screen's refreshing. Good lord, this is so unprofessional. But then again, I don't do plans. My shit's all organic.
Like Whole Foods, man.
It's just organic. My stuff is just.
He shows is vegan, right, Puertorock?
That's it. You know, I'm like Heath Ledger. You know what I'm saying? It's Joker. I don't plan. You know, I'm just like a dog running around in circles. I wouldn't know what to do with the tail if I caught it. I'm just simply an agent of chaos. Man, this is weird. Normally we talk about dog shit and everything's fucking, excuse my language, everything's moving perfectly. But today we're trying to do a serious topic, get something out to the audience. Now Windows want to act up. This is what I get for not being an Xbox fanboy. I bet you if I was an Xbox fanboy, Windows would be working perfect.
They tracked you down.
I need to subscribe to Game Pass to have Windows work.
You Game Pass, so it lapsed.
I think you're good, though, as far as...
So everybody's good? Because, like, I'm literally not seeing nothing on my page.
Yeah. What you do is open up a separate browser and watch the video and...
mute it,
and look at the chat there. But we can see the chat just fine. If you need me to call out the super chats or something, I can do it.
This is what I'm gonna do. Let me see. So let me just
audio is crystal clear.
Let me just. Hopefully this didn't shut it down.
Nah, we live. We still live.
We're still live. It didn't shut down or something.
Ladies and gentlemen, staying with us. Yeah. Technical difficulties. Greatness awaits. How about that?
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to wait for these PS5 exclusives in 3 years.
Facts.
Right, for now, you're getting beautifully crafted cross-gen games like Horizon.
Absolutely.
Horizon Forbidden West.
Absolutely. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to you guys. We got 143 people watching. We got 44 likes. Hit the like button, y'all. Y'all know we got a good show for you today. Professor Puertorock is going over the paperwork as we speak.
Yeah, we still have to.
He passing out pamphlets.
We still have
finalizing the documents.
We're still going through our lawyers. The lawyers are. We're still finalizing the acquisition here.
Yeah. We're trying to make sure that Blizzard Activision deal don't go through. Y'all know what we do.
All right. So the chat's responding to you guys. They hear us.
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna start off. So while my screen is booting up, whatever, you guys are listening. Hey, I want to say welcome to the channel. Let me start this off before we get into it. Okay. I got a lot of DMs since the notifications coming through of our special guest, but I wanna set the parameters for you guys and expectations and stuff. Okay, we all know what happened recently. We all know what's going on, but I want you guys to consider this. This is possibly that I could think of the first time where you have a big name YouTuber or celebrity or something where their past get brought up. And they pretty much just do a public statement, maybe make a video on their channel, and then that's the end of it. But rarely do you see them actually go live out of their element, out of their own, channel, out of their own area where they have control, out of their own audience that they have supporters with, and actually engage and have the conversation, regarding to their history and things that happen and things that get brought up. Okay. So what I want to say to you guys in the chat is this is your opportunity to actually interact, engage, and ask the questions that normally we would never have the opportunity to do. We've seen big YouTubers, gamer YouTubers get caught out, and we never have the opportunity because engaging with them, ask them the questions, say, hey, blah, 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 make them answer up to whatever the situation is because they won't put themselves in that situation. So when Actman came, and hit up the DM and said, because he approached me and he would like to say what he has to say live on the podcast. That's a rare opportunity to have the community who was impacted, affected, or just part of the whole conversation to actually now listen and then also respond and communicate whatever with the guests. So this is the opportunity to actually interact and ask the tough questions, all right? What I say is don't waste the opportunity just to simply blast them and tar and feather the bastard, because we who knows if we will ever see this again. Now, I'm pretty sure there's always going to be somebody's history gets pulled. It just seems like it's common. It's almost as if I'll be surprised if somebody doesn't get caught out there, right? But how often are they willing to put themselves out there to engage the audience, right? Especially out of their audience, because he could have just done a live stream on his own channel or just made another video and stayed within the confines of his own parameters, and he has huge supporters and he would have been good, but he's choosing to step out of the element and willing to engage with the people that will ask the tough questions. So to the audience, to moderators, to the guys who will do a super chat because they want to ask the questions. Ask the questions, don't just do a super chat and curse them out. I mean, you can, but I would say this is your opportunity to really ask the tough questions that we normally don't get the opportunity to do it. And he's willing to take the time to ask those questions, okay? So with that, this is your only friend in these YouTube streets, Puertorock 77. Welcome, my friends, my family, to another episode of 60 Frames No Lag. Of course, we reduced the panel members. We all talked about this, so we whittled it down to just myself and Jaydub. Jaydub, the information warfare specialist. What's going on?
Absolutely. What's going on, y'all? Happy Tuesday evening. Hope y'all doing good. Hope y'all got your coffee, your drinks, or whatever. Y'all know what it is. All
right. So I know you out there attacking Xbox Series S. I see
Absolutely.
30 frames, 14, as you should. As I
should. My Series S, man, it needs some Viagra or something, man. It just can't quite get up to I was promised a 1440p 120 machine, and it looks like that was a lie. So we're gonna talk about it. Y'all know what it is. I'm just saying, the antagonizer in chief is here.
I'm just saying, Albert Pinello told me it was gonna outperform the PS5. Because of a better CPU.
Absolutely.
That's what I was told. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I need some truth to that. But anyways, I'm glad you're here. Truly appreciate it. It's going to be a great conversation. So we have a special guest. Big time YouTuber who's been watching all over us Crumbside plebs for who knows how long. Big brother. He's been watching us, copying us, receipting us, and then one day he launched his attack, and we're all caught with our pants down, like how did this guy just come out of nowhere and knew everything about so much about us? But anyway, special guest, the Actman. What's going on? Thank you for showing up.
You got it.
All right. So I guess we should just get right into it, right? Right now.
Yeah, sure.
So, hey.
Well, I'll tell you what before we start.
Yeah.
Puertorock, I don't know if you can see the chat, but I'll tell you what. I'll find a great kind of stopping point, a pause point, to read out the super chat so we don't lose them.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. All right, appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Okay. Again, for the chat, this is your time to actually have the ability and the opportunity to ask the tough questions.
If you got any questions, guys, y'all know how to do the super chat thing. I'm going to read them, and we'll see. What's the response like?
Okay.
How about that?
All right, so we'll do that. Okay. We already got a super chat. He put hashtag this is a sick ass, and I'm not saying the rest.
this is a sick Negro.
I'm not saying
LBK legend with the $5. With the LBK legend with the $5. My brother, what's going on, man? So broadband bully in the house. What's good, my brother?
Oh man, the broadband bullies are here.
Yeah, the broadband bullies in the house.
Oh Jesus. Big Damu forces is here.
Big Damu.
I'm gonna just tell you, be afraid. So anyway, Actman. Okay, so we're just gonna get right into it because I think you're ready. So we're gonna start with this, right? Because we're gonna start off slow. We're gonna do the build up. All right. So
the drama.
Yeah. So recently you created the video called "Console Fanboys Are Cringe," and quickly within the community. We saw many of your examples, receipts, images came from within this Crumbside community that, many of the people in the chat are part of, I'm part of. And we were all caught off guard at how a YouTuber with over a million followers, like, just had so much information. I mean, it's not like it's protected information, right? But we were just so surprised that someone this big has actually seen what we're saying, talking what we're talking, the shit talking, all that stuff, right? So the first question, we want to start is how did you stumble onto all this into our community? Which is like, it's kind of like you being 3 a.m. at the projects in Brooklyn. Like why are you here? How you ended up here?
To be there.
Yeah. So how did you find us? Because to us, we always see ourselves as a niche community that once in a while we might make a breakout, viral thing once in a few. Some of us might have that. But how did you stumble upon to so much things that we're doing? Because we saw jaydub, Lionel B. There's going to be people in the chat that you caught tweets. Like, how did you stumble upon us? Like, what caught your eye and be like, oh, snap, these people exist?
It pretty much started so I'm a big Halo fan, have been a Halo fan since early 2002, Okay. And so way back when Infinite was first getting some trailers and some gameplay, I would see some tweets that were criticizing the game, but in really dumb ways that I thought, hey, yo, you can walk into this plant. This game is gonna be fucking bomb. You can. Oh man, where were some of them? Plant physics. It was all this dumb shit that I'm like, bro, really? And so I'd see some of these tweets, and then I'd check their Twitter profile, and then I'd see stuff that they retweeted from other people. That was, I can't remember all the tweets from the video, but certain accounts, the guy that was tweeting about the peach fuzz rendering, which I thought was funny to use that to, dunk on another game, or so I just see this stuff in some of these profiles, and it really was a rabbit hole because you guys are your own community, and so that's kind of how I discovered some of this stuff. And I was like,
so it started with just like a Halo insult, and you're thinking, who is this fucknut? And then at that point, you went down the rabbit hole. You just holy shit, what's going on here?
Yeah, it started with what I thought were kind of bad takes on Halo. Let me see if I can find any of them. Yeah. Yeah, just kind of like discussing very, very minute details that nobody in the Halo community really gives a shit about.
Like you can't pop the tires.
Yeah, like the tire thing. Yeah, the tire thing. It was like,
yeah. I know it all. I know it all. Trust me.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I mean, but it's kind of like, it's funny to dunk on these if they're serious, you know?
Okay.
Some of them are. So that's how I found you guys. I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head all the, like, what tweets of yours that I included in the video. But I will say I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to come on here and talk to you and, like, actually have a conversation about all this. Okay. I think that speaks to your guys' characters. In that you're not just like jumping to your own conclusions right away without potentially hearing the other side. So because some people just straight up jump to the worst possible conclusions about me, and so I appreciate that.
Hey, we're gonna let you speak your truth, and then like you said, this is a court of opinion. We're just moderating, and we're gonna have the conversation. And then we're just going to see it through, right? Of course, it's going to be a little bit in a controlled environment because there's some people that's still wondering how did this all just get started in the first place, right? Because it went fast.
How did we end up here?
It went, how did we end up here from a couple of tweets about console fanboyism to now, once again, bringing up racism, homophobia, all this stuff, right? All right, so now we kind of get an idea of how, go ahead, JW. You want to say something?
Yeah. Shout out to Braxton Bow with the $5. There are fanboys like Xbox Mill Growl who ended up getting sued for harassing a woman who criticized Xbox. Why doesn't Actman acknowledge that side? I guess on the video, a lot of people feel like it was only one-sided. You only really talked about the Xbox fanboys or the Xbox guys, but you didn't even it out with the with the other side, the Xbox side of things. And I think for the most part, that's why a bunch of people actually responded to the video in the first place.
Yeah, no, that's a very valid criticism of the video. Now, there's a couple parts to that. Truth be told, when I was making the video, I gathered all this stuff and I looked at it and I was like, I do kind of want to spread some of this out. Like, I feel like I'm just kind of targeting PlayStation fanboys. And it was more so to try to like tackle it in a general sense of like console fanboyism, which is why I brought up Nintendo and the PC master race, but didn't go too far in depth. At the time I was like nearing completion of the video, I had seen some other stuff like that guy who compared the quote unquote reused animations from Zero Dawn to Forbidden West. Mm-hmm. And I was like so kind of done with making the video. I didn't put it in there, and I really should have. And I should have taken the time to look at more of the Xbox side. In my experience with looking at that side, a lot of it didn't feel like it fit with the video, as in like it wasn't stuff that I saw that was super dumb or like that I found I was able to make good jokes about. But at the end of the day, that is a very valid criticism that it was kind of one-sided. And if I do make a follow-up, I'll shine more light on the other sides.
I will say this.
So you saying you didn't see or you weren't introduced to a lot of crazy stuff that the Xbox guys said? That's why you didn't include that in there?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, after I posted the video, like I talked to a couple guys that covered this console war stuff and all this, and they sent me some other stuff, and like some of the stuff I've heard from you guys about the Xbox fanboys, like the pulling the gun out on the live stream, like hearing that now, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's pretty insane, right?
Oh, so somebody must have been feeding you some information, but it was only from one side, and they didn't show you the real stuff.
So I'm gonna tell you. So I can understand if you're looking for bad gaming takes from Xbox. There's only a few guys that consistently do that. I'd say J-Rock. He kind of tends to stick with talking trash about PlayStation game. In fact, he has one called Copy and Paste that garnered 2.7 million views. And like, if you thought the Metroid from Nick was bad, this dude got slammed from multiple Xbox developers, all simply because he showed an image of Alloy doing the same, rope mechanic. And he called it,
that shit was so dumb,
2.7 million views, over 5,000 retweets. He got slammed by everybody, right?
Yeah.
But he's one of the few. If the thing is, like, with a lot of Xbox guys, like, you could talk trash about gaming, but for whatever reason, they will be the first. I ain't gonna say all of them, but many of them will be the first to go out of pocket. And then they'll go talk about your wife, which happens plenty of times.
Yeah.
They'll try to dox you, which happens plenty of times.
Yeah.
There's like 2 or 3 within the group on the live stream.
They'll Photoshop stuff and then try to say that that's you.
Yeah, the PlayStation guys, they will go hard on your game. Like if your game sucks, or even if it doesn't suck, if there's like a weakness, they will go at it. But there's a reason for it, and we'll talk about that later. You know, there's a reason why. If you're noticing. Like Halo and, you know, like the game that I'm thinking, then why are these bad takes? There's a reason why. It's because of 2020. But we'll get into that, right? You know, 2020 was a crazy year for Xbox. If you didn't realize, maybe you didn't realize what was going on. But there's a reason why PlayStation Nation is going at every single graphical detail of Xbox game. And to like even the most stupid shit. There is logic to it. It's not just blatant bashing for no reason. There's there is a method to the madness to this. And Xbox guys don't want to admit it now. But we'll talk about that, right? So you formulate this video. So obviously, being a big YouTuber, you formulate videos. I would assume you plan stuff out. You have professional editing. Do you have like a group? Do people help you formulate ideas, or is this? I don't know. Like I said before, I have a dog shit channel. I do shit on the fly. Like look at my background.
Give yourself some credit, man.
Look at my background. It has PS Vita resistance. I never owned the Vita. So why the fuck do I have that there? It looks nice. So I just put it up there. I don't plan anything out. I'm like I said, I'm the Heath Ledger Joker. I don't plan. I'm just an agent of chaos. I just do random
Hey man,
shit.
it's something, you know.
I just, you know,
it's better than a blank wall.
I'm just saying I got Heath Ledger. I mean, I got resistance PS Vita. And I think the Vita sucks. I just do shit, right? But you with your level of professionalism, big time YouTuber, I would imagine you plan shit out. Like your shit's not, hey, you wake up one day, let me attack PlayStation fanboys, and like I doubt you do that.
Nah.
Tell me how this came up.
One other part of this is when I saw some stuff. So like the guy pulling the gun out on the live stream that I found out after the fact from you. Even thinking about putting that in the video is like, damn, that's kind of a pretty serious thing.
It's a felony.
And
he's lucky.
And the goal of that video wasn't to cover like the really bad shit. And so some of the really bad shit that Xbox fanboys have done should be covered. Yeah. And I should talk about that. But it just, I didn't feel like it would have fit the video. But that's why you do another, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
let me get a couple of these super
fanboys. Your time is numbered.
Okay.
Oh shit. Oh man. All right. Okay. Lionel Bulger, my brother, with the $5. Thanks to Actman for the shout out. I'm definitely a celebrity now.
you put one of his tweets in there.
Ryan Landis with the $5. Does Actman realize that a lot of these fanboys on both sides are friends behind the scenes? It's jokes. Twitter is a shit talking battle royale. That is true.
Like Tim Dog's our boy. Like we're great friends, but people think like when they see I talk to Tim Dog talks to me like on Twitter. They tell Tim Dog, why are you talking to this fanboy? He's terrible. Or people be like, why are you talking to Tim Dog? He's terrible. I'm like, Tim Dog's a good dude. I know him. In fact, we're both Knicks fans, so we suffer together. You know, so like, you know, a lot of us behind the scenes are good friends, and we just play around with the console war. But some people, you know, it's like,
and most of us we're friends in real life. We've met each other in real life at gaming events or whatever. And I know a lot of newcomers, right? They don't know that, so they look at it as a real war. They don't look at it as entertainment. They don't look at it as, you know, supply for our YouTube channels or Twitch, or you know, Twitter or whatever. And a lot of it is in good taste, right? If you don't like the console war, then it's not for you. But it's for a larger community than most people realize. And guess what? Majority of these guys are in the chat right now. They come to support, they come to rock out and have their laughs and crack their jokes. And that's what it is. The Action Luca with the $5. I've always been of the belief that every fandom has its nut jobs on it, but generally most people in the community denounce the races and death threats. Yeah. I mean, that's true. That's true. Roddy Reese, aka the Can Man with the $10. Actman, cover more PlayStation stuff, yo. Yeah, they want you to cover more PlayStation stuff,
dude. I want to, man. I really do. Yeah.
All right.
So I want to do a Forbidden West review, but yeah.
So you did your video. You planned this video, right? You put it together, right? Is there any more details behind the planning, or you want to move on to the next step? Which is...
No. Yeah, we can move on. Okay. I mean, that was the gist of it.
So after you had this video, right, and you finished rendering it and you uploaded it, what was at the time your expectation? Do you expect any blowback? Like, to what level did you think? I would imagine you knew you were gonna get some salty opinions in the comment section. I would imagine at least that. But to what level did you think this was gonna go at the time? Like, how bad did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of noticed their behaviors. Like, some of those guys, like when I called them out on Twitter or like made fun of it, they'd be like, "Look at me, I'm getting more clout." And so I kind of found out some of their patterns, and I talked about that in the video. I was like, I think this is what these guys are going to do because they have nothing else to recover.
I do remember.
But I did not expect.
You predicted that they were going to use your bashing as like being exposed. All right, so we have a dude named Musa. He said, "You guys may call it being exposed. I call it exposure." Kind of like, when he said that, I started laughing because he does that too. He's an Xbox dude and he antagonizes. So he be saying some crazy stuff and we retreat and making fun of him and like, "Damn, bro, we exposed you." He goes, "What you guys call expose, I call it exposure." I'm like, this guy, he has no shame, bro.
Rob and Billy.
Wine glass in his hand.
So it's kind of like, as the old saying goes, you know, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Any publicity, right? So he has that, right? So that was pretty funny. So you would imagine that
pretty bad publicity.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you imagine that's what there's gonna be the natural reaction. "Oh, Actman, million YouTuber talking about me, I win." And you're thinking, "Yep."
Yeah.
And that didn't happen, did it? Or at least something more darker.
Yeah. Well, the reaction was pretty disconnected from the video itself and the content of it. Like, the major criticism of the video was there wasn't enough Xbox fanboys in there, which is totally valid. But it seems like the rest of it was all just like bringing up old shit. Hold up. Give me 20 seconds. I got to take my dog upstairs. She's 14 years old and basically crippled. So,
sorry to hear that.
Okay, go ahead. I'll read the super chat. Shout out to Dr. Phil with the 279. Mad respect for Actman for coming on the show. Yeah,
that is true.
Actman, your biggest stan is here, Dr. Phil. Shout out to you, Dr. Phil.
But that is true. We'll give him a few seconds.
But back to what you were saying, Puertorock. Yeah, it's true. He didn't expect the Attack on Titans to show up, you know, with stuff outside of his video. So I think that's one thing he was saying.
So I always tell people, and I made a joke about this, that the PlayStation community, they have this group of guys. I call them the Glimmer Men, right? Like the movie. Like, first you see a glimmer, and then you're pretty much dead. Like, these guys will find you. Like, they will find you, and they will dig up everything. Like, it's almost scary. I'm glad I'm on their side. But, like, these dudes, like, I remember somebody, like, talk shit about me, and these dudes... Like, they just like went after this guy, and they're like, "Oh, Puertorock's sick. You know, his fanboys after me now. They're pulling up all that." I'm like, bro, like, you did it to yourself. Like, it's crazy, right? So
they pull up your permanent record from fourth grade.
They will find you. Like, they will find you. So the reaction now. So now the intent was do a console war video, you know, about fanboys. You know, talk about, you know, to your. I'm assuming you don't really talk much about console fanboyism or just do fanboyism thing on your channel. I would imagine your stuff is about...
I've done a few videos on like I did a Series X review. I did I finally got a PS5 video. And I did 2 other videos about like the console wars, like when consoles were first coming out. Yeah. The intro for one of those is actually really, really good. I structured it like a fucking monster truck commercial.
Okay. But I would imagine most of your stuff is what would you say your channel's primarily centered like on Halo, Call of Duty, streaming, like what?
A lot of general shooters. general shooters is what I tend to focus on most.
So you
or like meta topics around gaming, like microtransactions or loot boxes, or I just put out one about DICE's Battlefield 2042. So variety stuff.
So would you say you focus on like games as a services, live service type games, multiplayer, and everything centered around multiplayer type topics? Because I would imagine money transactions. Multiplayers. Because there's a huge audience for that. All right. Shout out to Jay Barry. He's one of the panel members.
Absolutely.
He said, Actman, watch your mouth about the PS Nation. Y'all heard? We have spoken. He goes, hashtag best list, just jokes. He has the best list. Strictly.
He's a panel member.
And Strictly Gaming. He says, P-Rock, my guy, just now tuning in. So missed a lot, but all love, brother. Jaydub, what up? All right, appreciate you guys.
Good, my brother.
Again, if you're tuning in, this is your opportunity to ask questions. Rarely do we have an opportunity in a situation where we see somebody's past comes up and they're willing to talk to the audience about it. Most of the time, they would just do a promo and then just move on, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, so you delved into this console work topic. You had an expected reaction, but you didn't see, like, ultimately what was going to end up happening with this backlash. People dive deep. We'll start with, what's your reaction with how those responded bringing up your past? How do you feel about that? Do you think that maybe there's some validity on what they tried to do, or do you think this is the normal cancel culture? How do you feel about that specific reaction of the community that decided to, pull up your history and realize, okay, let's show you this guy. He said all this.
Yeah,
what do you feel about that?
I don't know if you guys make, like, I imagine you guys make something off of the content you do, but do you guys both have like full or part-time jobs outside of this stuff?
No, I have a full-time job.
Yeah, full-time. This is just a hobby. Man. This is just a hobby. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, this is my full-time job, and this is my gig. This is my life. I got communities of my own. I got a reputation of my own, and a lot of my success and perception hinges on, that perception. So, I essentially have a brand. Actman is the brand. And so I take this stuff very seriously because in some ways it is an effort to undermine that. Okay. And so I have to take it very seriously and go back and look at this stuff and see, okay, oh yeah, a lot of this stuff was pretty bad. It was from years ago and I've changed since then. I know I've changed. So my reaction was, I gotta look into this stuff, and I think the intent behind it, however, from the fanboys, it wasn't about the stuff that I said. It was about what I said in the video that upset them, and like that's why they took this route of digging up my past, because there was nothing else for them to like respond to with the video. So, and I think a lot of people that were coming after me have like a good chunk of the people that were criticizing me, some people actually went into their Twitter history, and lo and behold, they were guilty of the exact same thing that they were criticizing me for. Sometimes within 48 hours, there was one guy who said, I might be able to pull it up if you want to see, but there was definitely some great hypocrisy. I don't know if you guys saw Nick.
Oh yeah, I talked to him.
His Twitter history.
I'm like, bro, what are we doing here? And then, all right.
So I mean, it's like, and when that stuff comes out about him, I did not take the chance to further blast him, because it's like, yeah, dude. I mean, you may have said an offensive word, but like, I'm not going to judge you based solely on that part of your past. I'm going to give you a chance to change. You know what I mean?
My man Nick said, it's not about me right now. It's about you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's what
So can I ask you this question? Right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna come up with an analogy. All right. So everybody, this is an analogy. I want to make sure, because sometimes the community will misinterpret stuff. This is an analogy, just a scenario. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm just coming up with an analogy. Okay, so this is an analogy I want to ask you, Actman. Let's say you were talking to a guy and he complained about people who speed, and he's just dogging people who break the speed limit. He tells you, man, those guys are terrible. Don't they know they could cause accidents? Why don't they just go with the speed limit? I mean, these cars and trucks, they weigh tons. At 80 miles an hour, they could kill families. It's illegal. Just, these guys are the ones the reason why our insurance premiums are so high. Yada, yada, yada. Right? Would you say he has a correct statement, right? Would you say that's true? Like the things they're saying, yeah, you're right. I mean, may not be a big deal, but would you say his statements are true? Would you say he has a valid point? I'll ask that.
Oh, yeah.
He has a completely valid point. Okay, so he has a completely valid point, and then somebody taps you on the shoulders, I'd be like, hey, bro, you do know he's a convicted rapist. He raped 5 people already.
No. He's a convicted speeder.
But you see,
rapist.
But no. The guy complaining about speeders is a convicted rapist. So now that you know this, does his complaint seem valid? Like bro, like you force yourself on people and you're worrying about speeders?
Exactly.
Do you understand the analogy I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So in your video, would you say, and maybe unintentionally, you painted the PlayStation fanboys as a very toxic, terrible community? Would you?
Toxic, yeah.
Toxic. Now,
I picked the most extreme examples I could find.
And you did, right? And
without being like, oh, here's the guy that wanted to execute Sony executives, without going to like the actual bad shit.
There's some other words there. But would you say that now, looking back, that there's people that might say, oh, okay, so since you're trying to be holier than thou, let's find out how you are. Would you think that may have been a repercussion? If because that's why I try to tell people, be careful of trying to be holier than thou. Or as the saying goes, don't throw stones in a glass house. Would you say that the reason why they brought it up wasn't because they couldn't tackle the points, but more or less on who is you to complain about this when you're the type of person that did this? Would you? Yeah,
Jaydub, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, there's journalists out there. They get work every day. They get their legs beaten up every day because they do play holier than now. They do, they're calling people fanboys and they're toxic. And then you'll go and pull up their history of toxic and fanboys tweets, and they don't like it. They go and block, right? So this community is more of like, for example, if you play a game or if you're hyping up a game, but you haven't beat that game, then people will call you out. People will call you out, and we're all guilty of it. Mm-hmm. Some people care, some people don't, but that's just how this stuff is. You can't be mad at somebody else, about something, and then you got some other stuff going on with you because that stuff can come out. That's basically to sum it up. But we have a lot of super chats. Let me get the super chats. Then Actman will get your statement. The Ashen Luca with the $5. We'll appreciate that. I found Actman from his video about Dark Souls. To know you had edgy jokes in the past sucked, but the subsequent statements were disappointing.
We'll talk about that.
All right. Yeah, we'll get to that. CB3 with the $2. Mad respect for the Actman for coming on the show.
Thank you, CB.
I have to say this is huge because again, we've seen this plenty of times, but no one's willing to have the conversation live and address the audience. So back to what I was saying. Yeah. Like,
I got a couple more. I got a couple more super chats. Yeah, we got quite a few. 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse with the $5. What's up, Actman? A huge fan of your content, bro. Are you ever gonna cover the Gears trilogy or Rainbow Six Vegas? Oh man, he ain't trying to hear nothing about the topics. All right. Always mad gaming with the $2. Bots always get personal because their games are trash. Big facts, brother. Gemini J with the $2. Where is Z? We need some ambush journalism. Hold your horses,
that's
brother.
Big Damu. That's Big Damu.
Yeah, Big Damu.
Shout out to
Strictly Gaming with the $20. I'm gonna keep it all the way a stack. It don't matter what they did it for. The point is, you said what you said. That's really what it is. Console shit aside, that was garbage, and I ain't hearing it. Why was that said? All right, we're gonna talk about it.
We gotta get the background
to explain.
He's gonna talk about it. But before we get to that,
one more super chat, and then you're gonna go. There is hope. It's not over. Shout out to you with the $2 Canadian. People forget about PC Master Race elitists. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. All right. So
yeah, the nice thing about coming on here too is like I'm getting a different perspective from you guys, and I'm also getting the vibe of what you guys are about, and it's really it's fun. Right. You know what I mean? So like it seems a lot more based around like, hey, we're just kind of fucking around. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
So based on this,
if we want to address some of the stuff,
we're going to. But I want to make sure, like you said, just to, so you could get a different perspective. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. So like I said before, you know, you made your video. It was primarily targeting PlayStation fanboys. You have a huge following. A lot of the people, you know, even though you covered their names, everybody knew who you were talking about. Just by like we knew. Even though you blacked out the names, everybody knew everybody. Everybody's like, maybe not your audience in particular, but word got around.
Exactly why I did that. So I kept the profile pictures in there so that people who knew who they are would know who was saying it, and my audience that didn't wouldn't be like, oh, let me go look this person up. Sense. So I really did that to kind of edge the line of, hey, I don't really want to send like hordes of people to go harass these people, but like for people that are already familiar with these people, they'll know who's saying what.
Well, I think looking back, I think you saved your audience, because if your audience would have tried to go after these guys, oh Lord. I think you saved your fan base from going into the Lions. Yeah, I think you actually saved your own fan base from entering the W, right? But here's my thing. So again, you went after, you know, the PlayStation fan base, the fanboys, right? You know, and you went.
So to answer your question, do you kind
of understand what that they tried? You understand what they attempted to do?
Yeah, that's part of that perspective. It's now, while I think it is completely unrelated to the topic of the video, it is on merit. It's like, hey, here's Actman bringing up this shit that you said and making fun of it. And it's like, okay, well, we're going to do that with the worst shit we can possibly find on you. It's going to be completely unrelated, but at least I now can kind of say I understand the feeling behind that.
So while it's unrelated to the topic, what the fan base did was they didn't try to fight you on the topic you created. They went with the topic of, well, if you're so holier than thou, let's find out who you really are then. Since you're so quick to judge people, we'll find out who you are. So do you understand? And console fanboys, they do this all the time. It's like a reverse tactic. Like, we ain't going to fight you on your battlefield. We're going to pick a new battlefield, and we're going to fight there. Exactly. You got to know the crumb side. You got to know the crumb side.
The big difference, I think, is that like while I'm making fun of what I think are kind of dumb, shitty takes, and like, you know, the worst case scenario, people make fun of them in the comment section in the video, but their name and their profiles are hidden from people that don't know them. In my case, a lot of people took the old shit that I said and were actually trying to ruin my life. There were people in there who were saying, end this man's career. There were people who were tagging my friends, who were like tagging Xbox and Phil Spencer and IGN, trying to spread this as far. You know how far some of these motherfuckers went? They found my mom's Twitter and tweeted at my mommy.
Jesus Christ.
They said, look at your son's tweets. My mom doesn't even follow me on Twitter.
Oh, shit.
She doesn't even use it. Like, so where I draw the line is like, okay, yeah, you know, if you want to criticize me on these old things, that's fine. But you trying to ruin my life, my job, and my source of income and livelihood, fuck that, man. I'm not going to take that. You know what I mean?
All right. So these guys, oh my God. So there is a dark side of Twitter. Yes. And they give no fucks. Like, if I was your friend, right, in real life, and you told me, hey, yo, Puertorock, I'm going to do this video. And I'm like, oh, let me see it before you upload it. And I seen that video, I would have been like, don't do it, bro. Like, I would have told you, don't do it. And you would have been like, why? Bro, stay away. Talk about Cyberpunk patch or something. Like, leave that alone. Or be more neutral. Find more stuff on the PC. Like, don't do that. Because if you do that, because I told you, when I saw your video, after 5 minutes, I knew... I'm going to tell you the specific point I knew went downhill for you. When you specifically started breaking down the fanboys, and you specifically said the Xbox guys, all they really do is reminisce on Xbox Live and the fact they used to say racist stuff. And that's all you said about them. I was like, oh, this guy condemned himself. He has no idea what's about to happen. I knew it. But I mean, I've watched the rest of the video. It's pretty funny, but I already knew that you were going to get the worst from the PlayStation community. After that, I would say that was the point where most people realize, oh, we got to get this guy. I guarantee most people probably consider you an Xbox fanboy because of that. Because you avoided so much in the community. They were going after.
And the thing about it is, most of the guys in the videos that you brought up, those guys, they're battle tested. They've been fighting every day, every night. Right? They got their armor on. There's nothing that can damage them because they've already been part of the shit for so. Yeah, they're in the trenches so long, right? So, being you are fresh and new. You step a tiptoe in here, right? You mentioned a couple of people. One of them being me, right? And I'll kind of explain how I'm caught up in all this shit. So you kind of mentioned me in the video, and I'll be honest. I'd never heard of you. I'd never watched your video. Even when someone sent me a clip to your video, mentioning me in my tweets or whatever, I looked at it and I like for a brief second. And then I moved on. It wasn't really worth a response. Mm-hmm. But it only takes a fraction of a second, right, for you to say something about PlayStation Nation and skeletons start falling out the closet and then people start exposing stuff. And before you know it, it's like, oh, this, hold on. What did he say again? So then my attention started clicking in. Okay, this guy, this is what he said about me and about this person and all these other people. This is what he's doing. And come to find out, you never said anything about the other side of the community. It just made the PlayStation community seem like, okay, we're a bunch of toxic fanboys, yada, yada, yada. But then specifically, I'm pretty sure each person that you presented in that video, each tweet, each person that you talked about in that video probably had something to say, right? And then obviously, like I told you, we had a long, lengthy conversation. I defend myself. You know what I'm saying? That's just what happened. So, I'll be honest. I was sitting at home drinking my coffee, wearing my kufi. You know what I'm saying? It's Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I was a little bit sensitive. Maybe so, as I should be. But then I saw it and I said, yeah, and so I took that as an attack. I'm like, oh man, he attacking me. Like, man, I ain't bother this man. I don't know this man. But then so by the time I even kind of got involved, man, like the nuke started flying already. And a lot of your tweets and everything got mixed up in there. And I'm like, oh my God. Now that made it even worse, right? Because I didn't know you. I knew nothing about you. So my first presentation about you was you talking shit about me. After having said all of this stuff that was taken as misogynistic and racist and homophobic and all of this stuff, right? So gather the picture that I'm coming up with, right, in my mind about you. And this guy has said all of this stuff, right? And now this guy has directed that stuff towards me in one of his videos. Now I feel like I gotta respond, right? I can't sit back. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, I got my kufi on, I got my coffee. I'm watching Dr. Umar videos. I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? And all I know is I seen this, you know what I'm saying, all this stuff coming at me. So that's how I responded. I defended myself. And y'all saw what it is. And, I ain't gotta bring up all those tweets. Y'all see it on Twitter. And I'll tell you the biggest thing, right? Because I probably would have left it on. The biggest thing was your reply in that long, lengthy. You wrote like 2 letters or 2 long things. And the second one, it was like, well, jaydub said this in his, and it's like I told you, some people are just battle tested. They've been there, they've done that. Every person has took their lumps, right? So I told you, my closet is open. Everybody's seen everything that I did. You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of, it is what it is. That's console, what you call it? Fanboy consolism, right? Yeah. But none of the stuff that I've ever did or said was never part of anything that you said and did. So it's like we're not the same. That is not the same. What I do console fanboy. I mock the console war, the fanboy stuff. I embrace it. I'm the OG troll. I made trolling popular. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. That's all that other stuff. That's not in my realm. That's not what I do. But your defense, right, to all your statements and everything that everybody said. Your defense was to basically hold the mirror up and reflect it back at everybody. Well, he said this, and she said that, and this person said this, but you never technically acknowledged all the stuff that kind of came out the closet. And I think
that's what I can do right now.
So that's what we're gonna do. So that's great segue, guys. Let's go through super chat, and then we're gonna get into that. All right. So Braxton B says, in this vid, there's a tangent about meta user scores not being used by people. Review bombing is rampant, and people rate a 0 on games they don't play. Oh yeah, that review bomb's ridiculous. Mac Porter, Actman, how do you feel you have grown or changed from your past actions? Because from my perspective, it only seems you feel remorse only to protect your current image or brand. We're gonna talk about that. Great question, Mac Porter. We're gonna get into that. 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Gotta go to work soon. Much love, Puertorock and crew. Thank you for stopping by. Please catch the show later on. Johnson, I don't say your first name because you caught me with that bullshit last time. I just subscribed to your channel, Actman. Yeah, he called me. I was saying his name like it was candy, and everybody's laughing. Yeah. I didn't catch it.
Shout out to him, man.
Shout out to Johnson.
You know where he come from.
Yeah, but shout out, man. Thank you for support. Mr. Rivera. Man, he has an Xbox logo. Oh, here we go. Actman, you the man, and yes, this PlayStation fanboys are the most toxic and disgusting ever. We should all get along. I knew it. Once I saw the Xbox logo, I'm like, here we go. And I think that's covers so far all the super chat. Okay, so now we're gonna get into this, right? So I'm not gonna put it on screen, but obviously an archive of tweets was pulled out on you, right?
And Discord messages.
Okay, and Discord messages. Yeah, I'm not even.
Now I can pull it up for you. I don't know if you want to pull it up and show it to your audience, or if you want to.
I'm just gonna read it out. I don't know how YouTube's gonna react with the algorithm. So I'll just give the PG-13 version, but I think everybody can fill in the words. Yeah. So one tweet, laugh out loud, and this is all from Actman. First, here's my first question. In 2017, were you under 18 or over 18? I don't want you to be specific.
I'm 27 right now.
Okay, so
in 2017, I was 21 and 22.
I didn't want to be specific, you know.
And I had I had no more, like when a lot of this stuff was posted, I had no more than 30,000 subs, and was relatively new to like YouTube and the idea of like being somewhat of a public figure. Okay. You know what I mean?
All right. So you were 21 years old. Okay.
Yeah. All right. 21, 22.
So to say if you were a man, you weren't a kid. Okay. So now let's look at some of this stuff. Okay. Laugh out loud. I call my friends F word all the time. It's a great word. There are better swear words than the N word with the ER. Okay. Fucking G ass shit. This shit's G. And for, retards. Who the fuck would like that story? Some G8 hole. All gods must die. I like to see these F words take on Zeus. Because America does not have the G. We are a free nation, not content to let migrants destroy what we have. The only other suicide.
So I figured we could tackle this in categories because there's like homophobic tweets and allegations, and there's racism, and then there's Islamophobia. And then there's the
some of everything.
So which one start? We'll start out with the racist. I think that's like the number one. We'll start with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
We have to categorize this shit.
What my goofy and my coffee is.
So all these.
The thing about
right, go ahead.
Yeah. So luckily, most of this stuff is only stuff you will find between the years of 2017, 2018, and some fringe stuff in 2019.
Only?
Yeah, only. As in, there's been a pattern of change that has been experienced in at least a 3-year period. So by the time this stuff had happened, for at least 3 years, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to say that stuff anymore. That's not cool. So right off the bat, I have changed, and if this stuff was more recent, I would be apologizing a lot more. But it's safe to say that I'm not the same person that made these comments and these tweets with these slurs in them.
To be fair, there was a tweet posted as late as 2020. So
which one was that? Well, we can get to that.
I got it. I'll keep.
So I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna say from my personal perspective. There's a reason why I asked you how old you were, right? Because let's say if you were 15, 16, right? and you started YouTube, you know, whatever, and you know, you're growing up, but then you into your manhood, and you realize, man, I was a very immature teenager, because, you know, all right, I could maybe, and again, this is just my personal perspective, I could maybe be like, all right, I got it. A lot of teenagers are just immature adolescents. But you were 21,
yeah,
so
this is adulthood.
So yeah, so outside of YouTube, just
I'll address this.
So never mind how many subscribers you have. Never mind, even if you had 1 subscriber. You're telling me at 21 you didn't like feel like, wait a minute, this is kind of reckless conversation, regardless if I'm gonna be a YouTuber, regardless if I have an audience. Just let's pretend you weren't even gonna be a YouTuber. You're just talking on Twitter. You at no point at 21 years old.
Yeah, this is
be like, wait a minute.
Is the bigger.
Yeah, man. If you want, I can address that. So in these tweets here, like, I didn't really consider the impact that my words would have at that time. And even in 2017, a lot of stuff that was moderately accepted then is not now. And this is part of the learning process of how we grow and change. And it's like, yeah, you know, I admit it. I apologize for these tweets, you know, and these messages. I shouldn't be saying slurs like that. However, there's certain questions we should ask when examining things people say that I think is very important to making the determination, is this person racist? Is this person homophobic? Let's take a very extreme example. Are you guys familiar with Kramer, who at Laugh Factory pointed at 2 black guys in the audience and yelled at them, hey, look at those N-words during a comedy special? Are you guys familiar with that?
Kramer, you're talking about the comedian, right?
Yeah. But basically pointed at 2 black dudes and said the most horrible shit to them, trying to be funny because they were heckling him, right? So that's a pretty bad example of calling a black dude an N-word to his face in front of a huge audience, right? There is not a single example of me doing anything even close to that level. Am I saying any of my stuff is okay or that it was right? No, absolutely not. But you cannot tell me that this stuff was hateful, directed at any one particular person. These are hateful words. So, I was not using them in hateful ways, and I think that's a very important distinction to make.
So let me ask you this. Okay. Let me ask you this. I'm just going to ask you some questions. Be honest. Outside of the internet, let's say you're...
You mean when I'm talking with my buddies?
Not even, yeah. Let's say let's say with your buddies, right? In a public place, though. In a restaurant. You know, in a restaurant, public.
Do I talk like this?
Would you say the N-word let's say back in 2017, you're 21 years old, you're drinking out with your buddies, you're like, let's say you're at Applebee's, you're at the table watching sports, would you say the N-word with the ER in that public setting?
Oh, hell no, dude.
Brother man.
Most of this stuff.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. Puertorock, let me jump in real quick. If you don't mind. It'll just take a second. Actman, listen, me listening to you right now, right? The bigger picture that I don't think you're getting, or you get it, but is trying to deflect, is the fact that this is not just conversations you're having with your buddies on a cell phone and your text messages got leaked, right? That's different. If your personal text messages got leaked, you are on an open platform where there's millions of people, if not fucking billions, right? And this is Twitter, this is Discord, this is all over the place, right? So you all over social media, and you're saying all of this stuff, and clearly you have no worries and no care about what you're saying, how you're saying, and how it'll be received. And I get your listen, I get it. 2017, 2020, it don't matter. The mere fact that you were so comfortable in saying those stuff, and like you really don't, you just try to distinguish. You literally just try to distinguish. Well, I didn't call that guy there an N-word to his face. But what's the difference if you say it to his face and if you're saying this shit all on Twitter, whatever? It's people still see it. Like, I'm trying to get you to see what everybody else see, and that's
why I brought up the Applebee's scenario. You're just talking to your friends. You're not talking to anyone but your friends. But in that setting, will you still say the word? And you clearly said hell no. Why wouldn't you say it in that setting, even though you're only talking to your friends?
So I'm gonna pull something up for you. This is something that they didn't share because they couldn't, because this is in my staff chat. Do you see this?
All right, let me see. Okay. All right. So let me share the screen so everybody could see it. Give me a second. Okay. Then I'm gonna go to that. Okay. Everybody should be seeing that right now. So I see hashtag staff chat. That Actman at JMac. With the new community status, we can't have people using the N word at all, right? Not NIGGA. Okay.
Right. So, and then here's another one at the very top here.
Okay.
This is the last one in the public server. Right. So there was a total of 14 times that I used the N word in the public server, but they left the very top one out.
Okay.
Because I'm telling people not to say these words.
You should not be using the F word, R word, and N word so liberally. Say what? N word. Just tag me with.
But it's just the top one. The bottom ones. So all the other ones, the older ones are essentially private messages. Or at least they weren't private because the server it was public. But at the time, some of the instances in which I used the N-word in the server there was like a small group of people. And I have context for it that shows that some of these instances happened 2 days after the server was created. Now, does it make it right? Of course not. I'm never going to say that any of this is right. But what I want to provide is context for these statements and what they were, that like there's more than just the vacuum of when and where it is said. I think showing that I'm trying to crack down on these words in my Discord server and the fact that I haven't said them in 3 words, to me that indicates a pattern of change, and that it's like, yeah, no, this isn't cool. Now, could I have gone back and deleted my old tweets? Of course. There were a couple tweets. One of them is this one, where we're talking about PewDiePie. And again, this tweet of mine is bad. It's a bad take. But I'm saying I call my friends F words all the time. It's a great word. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with that anymore. Bad take. There are better swear words than the N word. So even as I'm being like a fucking troglodyte with homophobic slurs, I'm saying I don't say that to people. And again, it's like,
I'll be honest with you, Actman. Context don't really go into it. Don't real talk. Out of the stuff that we've seen, we're looking on the screen right now. Context don't even really matter in the grand scheme of things, right? It really doesn't, because again, these aren't just texts to you and your friends in some kind of way somebody's phone got exposed. These are public things. These are public applications and public places where you said this stuff. And yeah, you're right. You could have deleted this stuff, but what's the saying? Once it's on the internet, it's always out there. And so here's the thing. There's a big consensus, right? Just like some of the other people that kind of got exposed for similar things, is that the only reason people are saying that they're remorseful is because now they have a big following and now they have a lot more at stake. But when they had a smaller following, this was their everyday vernacular. It was their everyday terms. They didn't give a damn. They didn't care about any of those people who they offended. The racists, the anti-Semitism, yada yada yada. That's what.
Now, let me address that, because granted that there are only 14 instances of me saying the N-word in the 4 years that my Discord server has been up, and that there's only 2 instances of me using the N-word on Twitter, I think it's safe to say, and the fact that I didn't delete any of this shit before, well, first off, it's a problem that I didn't see a problem with it at the time or at any time and delete it. But it also shows that this was not part of my common vernacular. In fact, in the tweet that I just showed you, the word is in quotation marks, right? So it's like some of this stuff, like when I'm using the F word and I'm literally quoting a song, like some of these instances, right? I'm quoting an Ice-T song, or I'm quoting like an Eazy-E song. And again,
okay,
it's like
we read all the tweets and stuff, and we didn't see the
Discord messages.
Yeah. Listen, okay, forget about the Discord message. Let's talk about the public Twitter messages that was out there.
Okay.
All right. Those, right? Because those are public, though everybody can see those. It's not like it's some closed off server.
Right.
That stuff was still out there. Yeah.
It's safe to say that, granted that there are so few instances of this that is publicly available, that these words were not part of my common vernacular, and that they were not something that I used often at all, or directed at people, or used as insults, or used as like a way to say, like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
would you guys agree with that? Is that the indication that kind of comes?
So, can you say that again? I want to make sure.
Well, so granted that you guys, like, people dug up my history, and the instances that they found were relatively a small sample size, right? Let's say 2 tweets and 14 Discord messages of me using the N-word. Some of this stuff only going back as recently as early 2019. Granted that that is the sample size, would you agree that that is an indication that these words are not things I use often?
So
no, I wouldn't say that at all.
I'll be honest.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
I wouldn't say that at all.
Listen. I'm gonna tell you. Listen.
You think I say this stuff all the time?
So wait, hold up, because that's so hard. Let me, jaydub, say it.
Because you guys just met me, man.
No. I'm not. No. So I'm just asking you a question. You're trying to say because there's only 2, we should have an assumption about you. All I'm saying is, while you're asking us to agree with, that necessarily we don't agree with. We're not saying you say it all the time, but that doesn't mean you don't say it all the time. I'm going to give you a story. Let me tell you a story and see what I mean. So this was 2016. I was with a unit at the time. And at the time, one of my side jobs, I was equal opportunity advisor, right? So anything that deals with sexual harassment, racism, whatever, I was the unit trainer. I would have to conduct it, report to the commander, blah, blah, blah. I had a friend. I'm not going to say his rank, whatever, because I don't know who's watching, right? But he was into weightlifting, bodybuilding competition. They do the spray tan and all that stuff, right? He's a white dude, right? Good dude. Senior leadership, I'll just say that. He comes into my shop one day, all my Marines around him, and he just had a show over the weekend. So he's a white dude, white as snow, but he came in, with the spray tan, Donald Trump orange looking. And I was like, holy cow, you went real heavy on that spray tan, because that's what they do, so they could get, the muscle definition. That's part of the whole thing, right? He goes, yeah, man, when I had my buddy sprayed on me and he was done, he's like, yeah, you look like a N-word. And he literally said the N-word in uniform in front of my Marines. And I'm the equal opportunity advisor for the battalion. Like, my whole room went silent. And we're all staring at him. And then he's...
Yo, what the fuck, dude?
So we all like... What the... And I told him, come here. And I attended to my office. I blasted him, right? But I told them, you need to go out there and apologize to my Marines. And whatever. So I made him go out there, apologize to the Marines. And then I came back to the office, whatever. And he's like, brother, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm like, yeah, you did. In fact, the fact that you said that so easily, who the fuck are you hanging out with that you're willing to talk like that so easily? I mean, think of... Now,
are you telling this story to draw a comparison to me?
No. What I'm telling you is, right, when people could say certain things easily, it's because it's part of their vocabulary. I don't know how often, when I'm trying to tell... I say all that to say this. I don't know how often you say it. I don't know if you said it at all. I don't know. I can't judge you on that. But what I can say is, it is part of your vocabulary. You had it in your vocabulary. Well, maybe it was. Only you could attest to that. I don't know.
I mean, the evidence is not there. Innocent until proven guilty. If this was something I said all the time, you guys would have found it. Trust me on that.
I told you.
I'm going to be fair.
I told you.
I'm going to be fair. I'm sorry. I'm going to be fair. This is just an assumption. You're right. Innocent until proven guilty. This is not even a court. This is just... Really, this is a court of opinions, right? And the burden of proof is not the same. Some people feel you did this because now you are smart enough to know you have to protect your platform. But that doesn't mean, I'm not saying you are or you aren't, but that doesn't mean you still don't have that vocabulary. You understand what I'm saying? We don't know. I'm not going to say you are, but the reality is some people will perceive this as you just gain wisdom into knowing saying this is bad for your brand. And you did say in the beginning of the show, this is your livelihood. This is how you make money. This is your bread and butter.
I already knew all this stuff was bad years ago, man.
Not at 21, though.
Trust me on that.
Not at 21.
What's that?
Not at 21.
Not at 21. Yeah, you're right.
If you were, that's why I asked in the beginning, how old were you? Because if you were to say, I was 15 or 16, then I could be like, all right, you're 15, 16, you're still going through high school.
even at 15 and 16, man, you know that stuff.
But like,
there's no excuse for it.
You're right, there's no excuse, but there's a difference between a grown man who's past high school, potentially graduated college, or maybe not, or in college. There's different experiences. You're more accessible to more adults. You're more accessible to having grown conversations as compared to 15, 16. You don't have other adolescent, immature people surround you. You're probably more surrounded by more adults, more mature adults, potentially more successful adults. You're hanging out with an older crowd that could potentially be more successful and just have that upper level, next level education, next level mind thinking, as compared to when you're 15 and chances are you really think about having sex and smoking weed. As compared to at 21, depending where you're at in life, if you're in college, not in college, graduate college, you could be surrounded by more professional people, more mature people, right? That's why I asked how old you were, but you were 21, and that kind of changes
the
things.
Truth of the matter is, like, I didn't see this as an opportunity to, like, I've got to defend my platform because I kind of already did that on Twitter, and I don't really need to, because the majority of overall people see the stuff and they see it and they're on my side with it. But I wanted to talk to you guys because I wanted a different perspective. And it's just kind of like we can make assumptions about each other based on this stuff all we want until the cows come home. But based on what you've seen in all these messages and tweets, and based on what you know about me, I respect that you guys can't say for certain. I don't know if you say it all the time. Like, I respect that middle ground of you saying, like, because I would be upset if you guys said, "Oh yeah, I think you say it all the time." You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing, Actman. Like what I was going to say earlier. Like I told you when we had our one-on-one, my first interaction with you, of knowing you, right? Actually knowing your name and knowing what you're about, was based on those tweets and was based on all that information. So what do you think, right? Just think about it real quick. What do you think my perception of you came from? Right? I've never met you, right, in real life. This is my first interaction, just the first interaction that you got with me. But what would my assumption, like, put me in your shoes, right? If those were my tweets and that was my information out there, and you never knew who Jaydub was, but now you know who Jaydub is based on all those tweets. Now, what would you look at me and say, hey, that guy seems like he's a well cut, clean brother,
well-spoken dude.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't know you. A lot of people know you. Kind of like one person in the chat said, they knew you by watching your Demon Souls videos or something like that. And now that stuff came out. They never knew that side of you. They never knew that you ever said those things. And so for you to ask us, right? Do we think you're racist or not? Or do you think that you use that in your everyday vernacular? Like, the only thing we know of you are these tweets. We don't know you like that to be able to give you a formulated opinion. All I can say is the stuff that you posted, you were very comfortable with posting, and I get it. It was, let's say it's 5 years ago. Let's say it was 2017, right? But you were very comfortable using it because you used them so many times. And one problem that I have, right, is the mere fact that you said, well, I only used it 14 times. Like, only? Like, it really generally only takes a person one time to understand that this is probably not so wise, or this is probably not what I need to do, right? But to have it happen, you say 14 times, but other people have found, obviously with all the other information, with all the other information, right, that's out there. So it's a combination, right? It's a combination of the 14 times, the Discord stuff, and we haven't even got to and we're just talking about the N-word. We haven't even got to the other stuff, right? So you're asking somebody whose first interaction with you is based on the combination of all of this stuff. Hey, do you think I'm a good guy or bad guy? Like, for you to even ask.
Like it's hard for us to understand. Like only your closest friend could really know how you grown. I mean, that's
my audience, man, or people in the Discord server. I mean, close to 1.3 million subs.
I mean,
I guarantee you, if all this stuff was stuff I was doing on the regular, like in my videos or in more public places, like I guarantee you, all this shit would have come raining down on me a lot longer ago.
I'm gonna be like this. So it's hard for me to use social media audience to gauge because like the same people that are giving you a pass on this, and I'm not saying you don't deserve a pass. I'm not saying that, but the people who are giving you a pass on all these, homophobic slurs, racial slurs, and all that stuff, but then they want to complain about people making fun of graphics that's why I don't pay attention to this. You can't tell me a person making fun of graphics is a terrible person, but then when we bring this up, that's nothing, man. Stop being sensitive. Like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, I personally, and I seen it in the chat. I seen it.
No,
the very people who feel talking about graphics or making fun of video games are the worst person in the world. And then you'll be like, but this guy said racist stuff. Oh man, stop being sensitive. It was edgy back then. And I'm like, what? Like that doesn't make sense. Like if you're so sensitive to shit talking about games, then how can you not be? That's why I don't really gauge on this. What I try to do is actually just like the person, right? Like, for example, so 2017, you were 21 years old, right? You said you had around 30,000 subscribers at the time. To you, it wasn't that big, right? So
yeah, I just didn't treat my platform responsibly. Like I was. And this is a big part of it too. The way that we all grow up and what we're comfortable saying with is dependent on like our social circles. I imagine you guys being homies have said some, relatively bad stuff in the privacy of your friend group, as literally any dude probably has, right? And it's like,
nope.
Not
really.
Let me.
Not even back in the day.
I love. Because I don't know how it happened, but you segue into my next point. Like you hit it with your circle, because that's what I was going to talk about. You have a Twitter account, and you said maybe on YouTube you had was it YouTube or Twitter? 30,000, specifically YouTube, I would imagine, or was it Twitter?
So my Twitter following was much smaller,
right? But because you had a growing YouTube or stuff like that, I would imagine, and correct me if I'm wrong, on your Twitter account, you probably have friends and family following you as you were growing on this journey, right? People supporting you, having your back. I
think, yeah.
Okay, heck yeah, right? Yet you said these words in front of them, which could only make me assume they're okay with you saying the N-word. Because I have my family on Facebook, whatever. If I were to say the N-word, my aunt will call me and be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
It's interesting that you say that.
Did anybody in your family be like, "Bro, you're 21 years old. Why are you talking like this?"
If you actually go to, because I kept some of the tweets up just as an archive. I deleted the ones that people kept quote retweeting because I was like, dude, like this is wrong to just be posting this everywhere. It shouldn't be like, you know what I mean? Like it shouldn't be something that people can just go back to and quote retweet this one. But some of the other ones I kept up because it shows it as an archive. Now, in the responses of most of those controversial tweets that were around the time, there weren't people criticizing my usage of the word. And even back in 2017, when I was using the F slur a lot, and I thought that was like, that's what me and my boys would say all the time. And it was stupid of me to think that would transition well to an online platform where not everybody had the same social group or like the same mannerisms. You know what I mean? So it was wrong of me to use those slurs on a public platform. I see people in the chat saying like, he's just trying to excuse it. He's not defending it. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying when you look at all this stuff and when I put all the pieces together in the context and the evidence and where these tweets came from and the context surrounding them, that I am not as bad as some of y'all are making me out to be. And that's what I have a problem with.
Well, I think this, Actman.
Let's get to the super chats. Let's get to the super chats, right? Because there's a lot of questions. So we'll start with Johnson.
Yeah, I got a lie. Harry Johnson with pause with the $2. Why why is everybody so sensitive? Who am I to judge? Oh man, shut up. The Ashton Luca with the $2. While I do believe people can change based on how you handle all of this, I'm on the belief that you only changed because your channel blew up and you didn't want the negative press. Scrambling. Goat sauce with the $5. In my opinion, homophobia and racism is a form of ignorance, and people can change and move on from ignorance. Harry Johnson with the $2. I guess all you people in the chat are angels. Oh man, he trying to defend it. Gamer O'Malley with the $2. My brother was good. Funny how Axe excuses sound exactly like dealers. All day with the $2. 14? The fuck you mean 14? Bro, we only need one. Yeah, buddy. Phil DVG with the $2. Only 14? About to have dudes pull up 20 more. Oh man, y'all saw them out.
Hey, go for it, man. Go look for it.
Hold on, y'all. We only on the N-word. We hadn't got to everything else. So y'all calm down. Harry Johnson with the $2. This is ambush journalism, Actman. No, it's not. We're having a civilized conversation, and he is trying to address the chat and address you guys, so you guys can have a better understanding of who he is and how everything is. Royal Ball with the $2. I'm not buying this bullshit. Oh man. Mr. Rivera with the $2. Ambush, Actman, get out of here. This fanboy's oh man, he wants. Oh man, Braxton Bow with the $5. Instead of trying to justify everything, why not just admit you were wrong and move on like the one-sided fanboy video?
Oh man, that's what I've been doing here, man.
Yeah,
ain't you been listening?
Flaffy 1101 with the $2. This has become like an intervention, not gonna lie. Listen, here's the thing, and I'll tell you guys this, right? If we just yell, if we just go in, right, you're not gonna get the information that you need to know. Maybe there's some information today that you need to know personally. Maybe you've been in this situation again personally, and maybe you need to know how other people view your statements and view your stuff. So just chill out, grab your popcorn, and enjoy. We getting there. We getting there. Just chill out.
Go for it.
Yeah, the last super chat with the with Ashton Luca with the $5. But D, you always better off not coming on here to explain yourself, because you've made things 100 times worse for yourself in our view of you.
Now, I want to address that because unavoidably, there's people that will hate you no matter what. Now, if you guys are the type that actually care if a person like me has changed, then you'll be willing to hear me out and see that and see potential evidence of that. But people like Ash and Luca, who honestly don't care if I've changed, then it doesn't matter what I say to them. It doesn't matter if I apologize. It doesn't matter if I say this is wrong. It doesn't matter if I say I don't defend this. It doesn't matter if I say I've changed. Here's the evidence that I've changed. Here's the evidence that I don't keep saying this stuff. It doesn't matter to people like Luca because they just want to hate me regardless. And that's unavoidable on the internet. You know that, jaydub.
So people
just want to hate you.
Lucas, and that was your Dark Souls fan. God damn.
So Luca, in fact, let me explain this. So you had comments like, I only said it 14 times. I only said it twice. I only said it. What if instead of you saying that, you would have came out and be like, you know what? I made a mistake. Yeah, I was immature, yada, yada. I shouldn't have even said it one time at all. And I realize that now. I should have never even said it at all. And if I need it.
I think that, yeah.
No, but you didn't say that, though.
Of course.
You didn't say that, though. You said.
I've been saying that this whole time, man. I shouldn't have said this stuff.
But you caveated with, I only said it this amount of time, when in reality the point we're trying to say is
on Discord, twice on Twitter, so twice on a public platform and 14 times in a server that at the time was treated as public, like a group conversation with people.
And really what you should have looked at is more as, you said it one time too many. That's how you, but you didn't.
You're exactly right, my man. You are exactly right, and I agree with that.
You didn't really convey that message.
But I'm saying that now. Does it matter if I said it 5 minutes ago or right now? Because I agree with you.
So there is a difference because I'm coaching you. It should have came out of you. Like, I shouldn't have to coach you into that direction. You should have just.
I don't need coaching, man. I know this stuff is wrong. That's what I've been saying this whole time.
I don't think you understand. Like, I don't think you understood the key points that were like when we hear, especially as minorities, whatever. When we hear when somebody says, "Well, I only said it 2 times on whatever," in our mind we're like, "Bro, saying it once is like disastrous." once you go past one, it becomes like holy shit. That's how we are hearing that, right? You know,
but to peg me as someone who genuinely hates minorities and black people is a total hyperbolic exaggeration of the facts are these are the amount of times that I have said this, and I think that's important to highlight, right? Because if it was 300 or 500, holy shit, man, there ain't no defending that.
So let me ask you something. So it takes 200-300.
There's a scale, man. There's a scale of hatred, and there's a scale on this thing. It's not just like.
Oh, man, see, he on the lower end scale. Why y'all trying to paint him on the higher end scale?
So let me ask you this. So you perceive that there's let's say like there's a reasonable threshold before you could be considered, you know, all right, this guy might be treading, you know, the racist side of the house. Is that what you're trying to say? There's a threshold.
No. What I'm trying to say is like, let's say you got a South Park episode that's joking about Jews, and you might be able to take that as anti-Semitic. Just because it's anti-Semitic doesn't mean you can say, oh, that joke was as bad as what Hitler did. You know what I mean? That is a scale of hatred. There's a scale, and I'm not like, you know what I mean? That's using the two extremes.
Listen, I'm glad you brought that up, right? I'm glad you brought that up because I guess we can segue into that side, Puertorock, the anti-Semitism tweets, right? Because we got the 14 N-words over here.
Anti-Semitism, actually.
All the Hitler stuff, like.
Oh, you mean the tweet that was obviously doctored to make me look bad?
So you didn't say that?
That was fake. All that was fake news.
Well, no. They cut off here. Let me find it. Let me find the full one.
You have the original tweet?
Because it was more. Because people were genuinely misconstruing. They were cropping this shit off to avoid the context of an obvious joke. Do you guys think I really think Hitler did the right thing? Like
we Luca's tweet. She has a.
We don't know anything about you besides your you know. Yeah, while we're here, we got just a guy with the $10. Actman is a fanboy for saying the Xbox and the PS5 were on even ground on his PS5 review when Xbox made history by launching a console with no exclusives and no next-gen games. God damn, my brother just a guy. He on fanboy shit. We on a whole nother level. God damn. All right, who else we got? Just a guy. Okay, we got just a guy. Just a guy with the $2. I don't care what he said. Those words mean nothing to me. Oh man, the Ashton Luca with the $5. Just like we don't know you, you don't know me. I am basing how I feel about you on what you said tonight. I don't hate you. I'm just disgusted.
And if I get passionate, you know. So as you can see, like that, I agree that Hitler did the right thing.
Wait, what?
Oh shit!
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Oh shit!
Let me share the screen.
As I'm,
all right.
I'm literally quoting someone who said this. So you want to come at me with the anti-Semitism? I was calling it out in the tweet that was doctored to make me look like that.
Let me see.
Oh, man.
Let me see. So I agree that Hitler did the right thing, but oh no, I didn't actually say that. So I'm good. You're giving me the chuckles.
Because this guy is part of the notorious troll. So that whole you know, telling that guy to slit his wrist. There's a fantastic story behind that.
Let's hear it.
Sure is.
Let's hear it.
This was the alt account of that guy. So this guy, basically, the tweets are no longer there. So I mean, you can only take my word for it. But I'm not saying Hitler did the right thing. That is the gist of what he was saying in this conversation.
So wait, so you quoted him where it said Hitler did the right thing. So that's his quote?
Well, it's. I mean, I don't remember what this conversation was.
I'm just asking.
I'm not.
No. So I'm just asking you. The first three words says "I agreed that." So what are you agreeing? Because you put "I agreed that." So what are you agreeing to? I'm just asking you. I'm asking you to give me the context.
Oh yeah, well he was. Like I said, I don't know what the context of his tweets were, but he was saying something along the lines of like, you know, Hitler did something right or whatever. So I'm making fun of him. But oh no, I didn't actually say that, so I'm good. You giving me the chuckle. So this is what I'm saying to him, and then this is what I'm saying He
All right,
said. So I ain't.
So I'm gonna tell you. So it looks like he said Hitler did the right thing, because which is why you put it in quotes. Because usually when you put a statement,
exactly.
Okay, cool. But you said I agreed that, quoted him.
Yeah, I agree.
But oh no, I didn't actually say that, so I'm good. You giving me the chuckle. So it sounds like maybe it's me, right? But it sounds like you agree with him, but you're making sure you didn't say it yourself, but you agree with it. That's how I'm interpreting it. I could be wrong.
I don't know how you.
I could be wrong.
I don't know how you come to that conclusion, my man.
All right, so let me. I'll tell you what. So this is what
I'm literally making fun of the guy. There's really not much to go in with this on this one. The tweet that shows me saying this was obviously doctored to make me look bad.
That's a doctored tweet, or are you showing the actual tweet on the internet? That's on your Twitter account.
Yeah, no, this is still up.
So
you can check this.
You put I agree that. So what are you agreeing to? You wrote that.
No.
What's doctor?
No, I'm making fun of him, dude. I'm not saying I agree with him. This is the statement that I'm making fun of, right? I shouldn't have to be explaining this so hard because it's relatively obvious.
So wait, you're saying the whole entire statement of I agree that Hitler did the right thing, but oh no, I didn't actually say that, so I'm good. That's his statement.
Yeah.
So the only thing.
The
only thing you said was you giving me the chuckle. That's your tweet.
Yeah.
Oh man. But that wasn't even like a funny. That's not even a funny topic. Maybe that was a tongue in cheek wink and a nod. Maybe that was the old wink and a nod.
All right. So let me ask you this. So the statement I agreed that, if you could scroll down. So the statement of I agree that Hitler did the right thing, but oh no, I didn't actually say that, so I'm good. That is that person's statement. Yes. So the person made a statement. The person made a statement that he agrees Hitler did the right thing, and you found that funny. So
I found it funny that he was saying that, as in like, wow, you are such a piece of shit. As you can see by this conversation, if you really want to go back. This guy was fucking coming at me. This was part of the alt account for the guy that I told to slit his wrists.
Okay.
So this guy had 3 alt accounts, and I was actually able to prove this because someone went back through the archives and saved and archived it. So I'm actually able to make this connection. Now I have a folder called Depressed Jeff because that was the original name of the account that I told to slit his wrist. Now,
okay, hold on. His name is Depressed Jeff, so clearly he's a depressed person. And you told him to slit his wrist?
Oh, he's a troll, man. He's a troll.
Oh, okay, he's a troll. Okay.
So this tweet is the one that was brought up, right? Like I said, go back to slitting your wrist. More efficient than wasting your time on Twitter might make you happier. Wow, telling someone to go kill themselves, that's a whole new level of low for you. So this guy is a troll who would harass people in the Halo community on 3 separate accounts. And what he would do is he would like and retweet his own tweets on his multiple alt accounts. Now, luckily, this was archived on the Wayback Machine the other day. So I'm able to show you this and make this connection of what a piece of shit this guy was. And I lashed out on him. So let me
while he's looking through, Jada, can you read the super chats?
Yeah. I will, my brother. Jay Barry, my brother with the $10. Hey man, look. Say, I apologize for using the N-word. I'm a changed man, and I don't say those things again. I'm sorry. Simple. He said he's giving you
right.
out.
Yeah,
What about Just a Guy? Did we say Just a Guy?
Devin Hill with the $10. He retracted his message. It's all good. We appreciate your $10. Just the guy with the $2. I don't care about what he said. Those words mean nothing to me. Oh man. Not like this. We got Ashton Luca too. Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you see this right here,
right, so let me share the screen again to everybody so everybody could see it. Okay, now, go ahead.
A guy that calls himself Niggachu, you should obviously take very seriously.
Hold on. What do he call himself?
Yeah, look, you see that?
All right.
Oh man. Oh shit. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Never mind.
So yeah.
Move forward.
I should have heard that. I mean, I didn't
Oh shit! Hey man, that shit just come out. That shit come out like water. God damn.
Well, it's like,
God damn.
I mean, that's his name on there.
Chew, got it.
Notice, we'll call him.
Notice how I have yet to say any of these words. It's because it's not in my vocabulary.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah, I didn't say it either. I didn't say any bad word.
All right, go ahead.
So you can see what he's retweeting here. I'd like to see something from your point of view, but I can't seem to get my head up that far my ass. Your videos are shit. You're a fucking pretentious cunt. All you do is drama and then suck off. Die cunt. So it's the same guy retweeting this.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
This is his alt account, XD Pretendability. Now, if we go to Pretendability and the people he follows, it's two people. It's me and Zachary Kui, which was the person in this series where I showed you. Yeah. That was where the Hitler thing was from, right? So there's the connection. Zachary Kui, Pretendability, and Depressed Jeff were all the same person. Now, if you want to call me out for telling this guy to kill himself or to slit his wrists, yeah, I kind of snapped on him. Does that make me a suicide instigator? Here's what he would do. He would basically try to troll people, and then he would spam his links at people. And so let me know if this is the type of guy that you guys would defend. Mm-hmm. So this is what he was saying to people.
Yeah. Shout out to Jay Barry with the $2. He said it was only 14, now it's only 15. Oh man, absolutely. A Lionel Bulgin with the $5.
14 and a quarter, man. 14 and a half.
Oh shit. Lionel Bulgin with the $5. Are we gonna let Luca on the panel? Listen, I would love to, but unfortunately it's a closed panel tonight. We don't want Puertorock messing with any settings. He might fucking end this shit. we need the audio, goddamn. Come on, y'all. Let's we having a good time here. We letting the man explain himself. He's making some very, different points, different point of view. He trying to go through his stuff. We're gonna let him, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay.
So
go ahead.
You guys want to read some of these tweets if you'd like?
Let's see.
Okay. We see some.
So I'll say this. So I get a lot of those tweets and I just block them because me, especially jaydub, he has definitely experience in what people do. They try to troll you into saying bad things so they can report your account and shut it down. So I've been through that.
So this is the guy that PlayStation fanboys were not defending, but they were coming to the aid of.
Well, I don't want to say they were coming. I mean, I get without context, it was seen they come to the aid of. Right? But I think
grind yourself on fucking Black Cock and cry. You holy shit, dude. That's fucked up. Is. This is the shit this guy was saying for a month straight on 3 separate accounts, and I lashed out one time and said, "Go slit your wrists."
I mean,
that's the context for all of that.
You could have told him suck cock.
I could have done anything.
Let me ask you this: when normal people say that stuff to regular people, most people just block and move on and have a great, fruitful life. But this seems to have went on for quite some time, and I guess she was going back and forth with him, so it's why even waste that energy doing that? If he's just trolling, right? Somebody try to troll me, I just block and move on because you can't out troll me, right? So I just move on. But it was a lot of exchange, a lot of waste of time back and forth, and it just kind of seemed like, in the grand scheme of things, in the end, you the one got caught. You know what I'm saying? With your hands in the cookie jar. That's how it seems. You see what I'm saying?
Let me ask you.
Let
me ask you this.
Well, because
go ahead. Finish this point.
I was new to this at the whole time. I was not an experienced, hardened veteran of online platforms or Twitter at this point. So I'd try to talk to these people and be like, "Yo, dude, why are you saying this? What's your beef with me?" Not knowing they're just trying to fuck with me.
Let me ask you this.
Now,
go ahead.
Given that this is the only circumstance of me ever telling somebody to kill themselves that is available on any platform, I think it's relatively safe to say that this is not something I do on a regular basis.
Can I ask you a question? Was that the last time you heard from that guy?
Well, there's a lot of this stuff. It was actually the first account that I ended up blocking on my Twitter. Yeah, there's
no. I'm saying after you told him to go slit his wrist, was that okay? Damn.
That was pretty much the end of it. And then
oh shit! So how do we know that he didn't physically go and slit his wrist and this man dead now? Like how do we know that?
Because his account was only deleted like 2 days ago.
Oh man!
Did you guys look into that at all?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we looking at it now.
Let me ask you this.
I'm asking you because you had the interaction with him, but I'm saying like.
No. On the archive, like obviously he didn't kill himself because he was active. He took a big break for 4 years and was active in 2021. And then when all this shit happened and these tweets were getting retweeted, right? His account, he deleted it. So homie's still very well and alive with wrists intact.
Oh man, so, Jay, read the super chats because my shit's running slow.
Yeah. We got it. Okay.
There's one question I want to ask.
Yeah, we got Bravo with the Tula. This guy sounds like a friend from that fuck nigga Alex. Oh man, oh shit. Okay, just a guy with the $5. Puertorock, I'm surprised you don't use the N word, the M word. He said, "Are you Puerto Rican in NYC? Nobody cares if a Spanish person use." Well, if you know the history, man, you already know Puerto Ricans are brothers anyway. So
let me answer that question. So that's a great question.
I think
that's a great question. So growing up in Brooklyn, New York in the 90s, obviously growing up listening to Wu-Tang Clan, Ice Cube was my favorite artist. Using the N-word that ends in an A, not the ER, is pretty, even to this day, it's still, you could say, a culture in New York. If you go to New York, you'll see the Latino community, the black community, they use that word interchangeably altogether. I still have friends who never moved out of New York, and they're my age, but I grew up with, they still say it. But I no longer see it, right? Now, the reason why I no longer say it is because I left New York City. Obviously, everybody knows I joined the Marines. When I interact with different people, I interact with, black people from different places, North Carolina, the South, whatever. I expanded my knowledge of culture and how people perceive things, right? I also committed to being a Marine. And we don't talk like that. We don't talk street. It just that's just not happening, right? They consider that very detrimental to order, to good conduct and discipline, right? But I lived in North Carolina for a while. I lived in California. I lived in overseas. I lived in Japan. After a while, you start growing outside of your immediate neighborhood, and I realized, hey, I can't be talking like this no more, especially being a Marine. Being around different people, being around different culture, how the black people accept the Latino community saying the N-word because it's nothing. It's just how everybody talks in New York. It's not the same way a black person from North Carolina would accept a Latino saying that word. Two different cultures.
Or even people online.
Okay, So I don't even say the S word, and that's in my own culture. And if everybody don't know what the S word is, there's a racial slur for S word. I don't even say that. As you notice, like that doesn't come out of me. I don't say the S word. I don't say the C word against white people, the H word. I don't say any of those words. It's just I learned to pull that out of my vocabulary. To be honest,
what is the S word?
It rhymes. We don't want to know, so don't matter.
Don't say it.
It rhymes with tick. Okay. I don't even say that, and I'm Spanish, and I don't even use those words, right?
Somebody pass him a link to the Urban Dictionary. Go ahead, y'all.
So all right. So after a while, when you pull that out of your vocabulary, you'll find it pretty easy that you don't say those words. Even like if I type it on the internet, right, to get context. Let's say if I say the N word in the context, I put N *** in the conversation. So that way people understand what I'm saying it, but I'm not saying it. I'm not actually going to type the word. If there's an actual conversation or S ****, And if people be like, hey, what does S *** mean? I say, it rhymes with tick. And then they be like, oh, I see what you're trying to say, right? So I'm very cautious because I'm used to that. Like, it's not part of my vocabulary. It's just not something I say, so it doesn't easily slip out, And I said, I grew up as a teenager saying the N word with the A at the end. All the time, because that's just the culture in New York, growing up in the streets and in the hood. But being in the Marines, I just pulled it out of my vocabulary and it's just left. It's just not in me to say any of those words or to even use it in the heat of the moment. It's just that's not something that pops in my head, whatever. And I understand the gravity of those words and stuff, so I just don't do it. So like he said, I'm from New York, Puerto Rican. I understand the culture. I just moved away from that, stuff like that. Go ahead. Can you do the rest of the super chat? Because my laptop is gone.
Okay. All day with the $5. Bro, so we just calling N-word audibles now. Please tell me that was a FN soundboard. He said, yo, I'm done. Actman done turned himself into the Axeman. Oh, man. Dr. Phil with the $6.99. I'm black, yet I don't use the N-word or type it online. It's not very hard, Actman. I'm a fan of your channel, but I'm keeping it real, man.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So he's giving you his point of view. He's giving your point of view. Now let me ask you this, Actman.
Yeah.
In your inner circles, right? You're all your friends and everything, and I get you were, 20 years old, 21 or something like that when you kind of start this stuff, and so you said a lot of that stuff. That's what you said. Let's just take the combination of everything you said, the N-word and all kind of the other stuff that you kind of put out there, right? We're going to get to the next topic, which is the homophobic stuff, right? Because we want you to thoroughly get this stuff out so everybody will know your side of the story. So after you leave, right, there is no questions about how you defended yourself and what you meant and what the context of everything was taken, right? That's why I'm asking you these questions, right?
And eventually I will be doing a follow-up video where I'll put this all in like a stream of conscious sort of thing where it'll be much more structured.
Yeah, do that, man. So now here's the thing, right? Just like what Puertorock just said, it was easy for him to just remove the different terms out of his vocabulary. He didn't lose any sleep. He didn't have to worry about any slips ups or anything. It was just easy for him, right? and he's a man of color, right? So he kind of gets surprised to say a lot of stuff that he wants to within his community and his friends, right? But you, I take it that you're not a man of color, correct?
No.
Okay, so with that being said, how did you get into the act of being able to say this stuff and not feeling a certain unease or a certain kind of way of possibly having somebody to hear it, or
the N of me saying the N-word, or
let's
like
say N-word. Let's say N-word.
anything. Yeah.
I mean,
N-word. Yeah.
Oh, anything. I mean,
we'll say N-word. We'll zone it into N-word. At 21 years old, you were able to type Nigger.
Yeah, I mean,
like at the time at 21, it didn't bother you,
how
or
did I
like
get comfortable? With that?
Or like
how did that come up? How did that come about?
I mean, at the time, I think like I was kind of on the edgy side of things and like trying to push buttons necessarily, not explicitly, as like I wasn't going out and saying this shit all the time on Twitter, but like if I was talking about bad words, like that tweet where I'm like, I use the F word instead of the N word because you don't need the racial connotations, right? I'd prefer to call people an F word than an N word, right? So it's like,
why is that? Why?
Well, that's what I said 5 years ago, but yeah, that was really dumb and very insensitive. But I wouldn't say I was comfortable saying that stuff, but rather I didn't fear the repercussions of it, or I like, I guess that's kind of how I would put it. This. Is like, it wasn't a comfort thing. It was like, I don't give a shit.
You just knew that nothing would really happen, and it didn't matter.
Oh, I like I said, man. At 1.3 million subs, I have taken care of my platform and my brand and my image, and and I take the time to address a lot of this stuff because it's way more important to me now than it was back then.
Because of your platform?
Hold on. Not to cut you off. Hold on. That's what Ashley Luca was one of the first people to super chat with the $5 and $10 something. And she kind of said that exact same thing, and you really disagree with her. She said she felt like the only reason that you have remorse now, or that you're saying that you're a changed man now, is only because your platform got big, and you disagree with her. But now No.
I've had remorse for the last 5 years. I've just like gotten over this shit in the past, and I do have apologies. Well, it wasn't about like any of the like the N-word, but like I have apologies for saying transphobic stuff from 2017 shortly. Well, they weren't apologies, but more so just like, hey, I talked to someone and, you know, this is my new perspective. And then I have another one in 2020. So the transphobic stuff at least has been put, like, that's been more or less settled in my mind. My mind's totally changed as opposed to what it was in 2017. And again, as evidenced by my lack of use of the word on Twitter, the N-word, what I'm telling you guys is, like, I don't say that publicly anymore, which is why it had to be searched back 5 years. So the person that I was when I was saying that stuff is nowhere near as close to the person that I am now. I reckon everyone in chat right now was way fucking different, or I at least hope they were 5 years ago, just as I hope you guys were, and that you've hopefully become better people. And that's really, like, that's the most important thing, right? To would it be better? You guys know Daryl Davis?
No.
Well, he was a black guy who went in and talked to a bunch of KKK members and got them to hang up the hood and the robes. And basically he got over 100 people to quit the KKK by talking to them. And not that I'm saying I'm comparable to the KKK.
I don't subscribe to that method. But
like it illustrates that by talking about this stuff, and like it's better to have people change their mind. You know what I mean? Like, I changed my mind on all this stuff years ago. And now that it's come out, it's like, yeah, no, that was still wrong.
But I guess the question that everyone in chat wants to know is, what made you change your mind? What made you do that? Did you just one day wake up and say, hey, you know what? I don't want to say this because this is wrong. Maybe someone will be offended. Like, or is it, hey man, goddamn, I got a big platform. My shit is growing. I don't want to fuck it up. So I'm finna stop saying it. Like, I need some context to that.
You're asking if it was like a selfish or a moral reason.
Here's the line, because this is where we're all having difficulty. Let me say, this is where we're all having difficulty in the chat, and this is why the chat is bringing up these points. There's a fine line, right? On one side of the line, you stop saying those words because as a person, you personally feel this is not your character. This is, you know, at a certain point you grew and you realize, hey man, this is not me. I don't, you know, maybe lack of immaturity or just people surrounding, whatever it is. As a person, this is just wrong. I'm not doing this. Or the fine line of, man, I have a big platform. I have the opportunity.
I gotta protect it.
So I'm gonna stop certain keywords that I know can cause people's careers to end. So I'm gonna do a better job of not hitting these talking points because I gotta protect I gotta protect my platform, my ability to be successful. You see what I'm saying?
Now, I'll leave the conclusions up to you guys, considering it only goes back to 2017, 2018, and 2019, about if I'm doing it for like just because of my platform or whatever. But, oh shit, what was that?
I would say it's kind of hard to gauge the amount of whatever. Really, this is like the big question for you to answer.
Is it a moral thing? Of course it was.
Yeah. Here's a question. At what point? Here's a question.
All this controversial stuff started when I made some transphobic tweets 5 years ago, and I was like, you know, and that was part of my shtick was just to kind of like poke the hornet's nest a bit, and then just kind of like argue with people. I was a much more negative person, and I kind of thrived off negative attention. And a lot of my content was very negative. I was talking shit about Halo in every video. And like at a certain point, I started changing my content and started doing more positive things. And after these tweets, I was ostracized by and condemned by a good chunk of the Halo community. And a bunch of my friends were no longer my friends. And a bunch of them were like, yo, dude, that was
because
messed
of Halo?
Up. And no, because I made some transphobic tweets because of Halo. Right. Yeah. Yes. And I deleted those a long time ago, but I'm totally willing to talk about what my thoughts on trans people are these days. But if you look at the screen, I regretted stuff I did 5 years ago. I regretted it 5 years ago. and realized that it was wrong from a moral standpoint, because I didn't care about my platform really when I made those tweets. But after talking to people, I was like, this is wrong, man. I upset people that look up to me. I was like, holy shit, people actually look up to me, and I hurt them by saying these horrible things. I was like, holy shit, man. What have I done? That was wrong. And so yeah, back in 2017, it was more or less a gradual but effective change in my behavior and the things that I say. And I love the person that I am now, and I know who I am, and I know that I don't say these things often. And you can, you people can, not you people like you two, but, people that hate me and want to see me burn, you guys can.
Well, like I could have said, who you mean use people?
You.
All right, let me ask you this. Let's cover this, all right? Because I think there's two elephant in the rooms that to talk about, right? So let's go into the super chats. Can you go into super chats, J-Dub? Because again, my dog shit Windows platform.
Absolutely, I got it. Super chats coming up. Devin Hill with the $5, and a remorseful heart with the $5. It would be very different if Actman said these tweets now than back then. Times have changed. Listen, just because times have changed does not change the context or the messaging of those tweets. And I think that's is he? He's saying he's changed, and if he's changed and he think he's changed, kudos for him. That's him. That's up to you guys to determine whether he's changed or not. He says he's changed. Who am I to say he's not changed?
At the end of the day, I don't really care about what people in chat think of me, because what I care about me is much more important, and what my actual fans care about me is much more important.
Oh shit! He said, "Fuck y'all opinion." Big facts.
Well,
post up with the $5. Let me read the chat, brother. Post up with the $5. Y'all got this man on doing Black History Month. That meter is on 15,002 right now. Big facts. Post big facts. Let me see who else we got. So all day with the $2. How did your parents have that talk to you about black folks?
What talk?
Yeah. So they never had all day. They don't do that. They don't have the talks. The talk. We got just a guy with the $10. He said, Actman, I also used to be a fan. I stopped, but not because of the N-word or the gay thing. It's because you say too much good things about Xbox. Rest in peace, Trash. Oh man,
right, so
this dude said he don't give a damn about none of it.
Fun, man. We need some more fun energy in here.
Obviously.
Oh man.
So let's talk about the last part, and we went into deep detail, which was a rabbit hole. But this is the response. So we're going to talk about the two elephant in the room. So I'm going to read everybody your first response. And this is you on Twitter. The fact.
So the context of this is after I said some transphobic stuff, and then this was like the next day.
This is the next day. This is after the blowback. Things are getting heated. History's being pulled up, being posted online. You're probably getting a whole bunch of DMs and all this stuff. So.
Well, this was at the time. This tweet was fresh. This was 2 days after I made those trans tweets.
So this right here, my response to the console fanboy video, and I'm gonna read it to everybody. So it says, "The fact that PlayStation fanboys' first reaction." You're reading that? I thought you were reading something else.
So
this is your main response.
I mean, people can read that if they want to. I don't know.
Right? Read it. The fact that PlayStation fanboys' first reaction to my console fanboys video is to sprint to Twitter to see if I ever tweeted out a racial homophobic slur only goes to prove how everything I said about them is spot on. They don't care if I condemned those tweets in the past. They don't care if I changed my way of thinking or apologize for it. They don't care about context. They don't care about actual racism and homophobia that is relevant. They only care about what I said 4 years ago because I made fun of them. I will say it again here. I apologize that the Actman of the past was a cringy edgelord who didn't understand the importance of his self-image or how his words affected other people. I have since learned from that experience the hard way and come out of it a much better person. Those tweets were wrong then, and they're still wrong now. Nothing has changed. PlayStation fanboys only want to try and damage my reputation because they know that everything I said about them in the video is true, and they can't refute any of it. Which is why the conversation about toxic fanboyism has been derailed into, is Actman the racist? They have absolutely nothing else to respond with. No, I didn't make fun of you because you were black. I made fun of you because you posted something stupid online. And just as I am making fun of you, it is totally acceptable for you to make fun of me. That's how the internet works. So rather than address the points in the video, they tried to sucker punch me with some old offensive tweets that I will once again condemn here. Yes, I was cringe at one point too, but unlike the PlayStation fanboys, I am willing to accept my L's. I can look at my shitty takes and say, yeah, that was pretty cringe of me. I'm glad I don't think the same way I did back then. It is a trait I hope these people one day learn, because their lives will be much better in the long run. I have grown and learned from these experiences and become a better, more accepting human being. So, they band together in a last-ditch, desperate attempt to get back at me somehow, because that's all they have left. They thought they were digging for skeletons in my closet, but what they really dug up were the ashes of an issue long since buried. An issue that coincidentally became relevant again after I made fun of them for their hot takes. It's an issue I long since paid the price for, atoned for, and moved on from. All they did was spread the ashes over Twitter and yelled as hard as they could for attention because the big nose guy made some jokes about them on YouTube. If I took the time to search through their Twitter Discord history, I'm sure I could find twice as many skeletons, but unlike the console fanboys, I got better things to do with my time and honestly don't give a shit to expose them. My only goal was to take some dumb tweets and make fun of them. Console wars are not that important to me, and I am moving on from all of this once again. Console fanboys have proved beyond a shadow of a doubt what a laughingstock they are. All this over some plastic boxes that play video games. Holy shit. Get a life.
An excellent reading.
Thank you very much. I tried, man. I mean, granted.
No, you got the punctuation and the inflection.
I'm just saying, good. You know, I tried.
Oh shit! He said you were well spoken.
I tried my best. I tried my best not to get thrown over that wall.
You were wearing a top hat when you read that?
I'm just saying, I'm trying to stay within this country. You know, I don't want to give anybody reason to kick me out. But here's the thing. So that was your response. Did you think that was gonna improve your situation, or possibly you're adding more fuel to a fire? Like you added water to an oil fire. What did you think that response caused? You think it made things better? Did you think they would back down? Like, what was in your mind when you posted that?
Well, I think posting that for my audience, and there's some tweets of mine that are recent of people saying like, hey, you didn't need to address this. You didn't need to talk about it. And I said, you know, I wanted to talk about this and address it for my genuine fans that are concerned, you know, like people that actually care about if I've changed or not, if I still think those things. And I didn't address it to people that don't give a shit about that only want to see me burn, that only hate me because they want to hate me because of what I said in the video. Or what I said in the past. So I addressed that to my fans, and I think the response has been very positive. I'm
well. Let me tell you this.
Pleased with it, but let me hear you guys' thoughts.
Well, let me tell you this, Actman. Here's the thing. Sometimes people can get caught up in their own little bubble of people telling them that they're not wrong, that they should just hold the line, and that they should just ignore things that are out there, right? Because those are like-minded people. If you surround yourself with like-minded people, you'll never really know the truth of the world outside of you. And so you may have this bubble of people that say, you don't need to apologize to nobody. And I agree with Actman. He should be able to say those things when he wants to and how he feel, right? You always going to no. We're just using this for an example, right?
Gotcha.
But for every time you see that, there's a whole other large groups of people that feel the opposite. So you have to determine, is it okay for me to just sit in my little bubble and be protected by people just telling me that I don't need to apologize and I'm right or whatever? Or should I own up and do kind of like what you did tonight? You came on over here to talk to me in Puertorock and give your side of the story. You didn't stay on your channel and just stay hidden and just say, fuck it, I don't care. You did, put some time and effort to come over here and give your side of the story to the chat and to the people out there so they can hear what type of person you are, the context of the things you said, how you think, if you're changed or if you're remorseful and stuff like that. So, Yeah, I think for the most part, we tried to bring questions out that a lot of people were they needed to hear. They needed to hear the context. They need to hear who the Actman is and how he thinks when he's asked a certain question and how he reacts and stuff like that. And some people feathers were ruffled. Some people say that they support you and they're okay. Let me get to the super chat real quick. Bravo with the $2. Yep, he's an Alex type of guy, just like fritanga. Man, I don't know who those people are, but yeah. Yeah, but you have some people that came. We do have we do have more. Just the guy with the $2. He said that guy. I'm not convinced. But the Actman did tell y'all earlier he don't give a fuck about y'all opinion. Chat. What else we got here? Who else? Come on, y'all got any more?
I think Braxton. He's at the bottom.
All right. Oh man. Yeah, Braxton Ball with the $2. Actman, why all this pointless Last of Us hate? This brother don't know about some video games.
Homie,
we're not gonna talk about baby Jesus, okay? Like
I don't hate the Last of Us, dude.
All right, so let's. I think we could wrap something up, right? We're gonna talk about this. So you've seen the conversations, right? You've seen what you said. Is there from obviously you telling your side and stuff like that, is there anything you're taking away? Is there any lessons learned from this? Did you learn anything from the conversations, from the comments of people who were willing to provide valid criticism? Is there any takeaways? Maybe some things you realize you did wrong, maybe some things you didn't realize from a distance perspective. Give us your assessment.
Yeah, I think when people kind of come out of the blue to go at you, and I think jaydub can agree with this, it's hard not to just give like an emotional knee-jerk reaction to stuff. And I think it's important to like step back and really see where the stuff is coming from, and like take an opportunity to talk to guys like you and me that might have been blasting me on Twitter and just be like, you know what, these guys might have been blasting me, but I don't know them, and I'd like to talk to them if I can. And I think because it's serious stuff. I may have gotten a little bit serious and heated in this discussion, but that's only natural. And I think the big takeaway is like it gave me an opportunity to look back at the person that I am and see like what the mistakes in the past I've made were and how I've learned for them, and examine myself as I am now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like self-reflection. And that there is another side, like the PlayStation fans and the fanboys, and that it's not just all toxicity, and that it's not just like you guys aren't just shit posters and, fuckheads or what have you. Like, I think you're genuine dudes. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, let me tell you what, and before I read the super chats, I'll tell you what the expectation was from a lot of people in the crowd. A lot of people in the crowd, they were pissed. They saw those tweets and everything, so they summed you up, right? The same way I summed you up, and I told you that, right? So I kind of gave you my thoughts on it. And a lot of those people, you haven't swayed them. You haven't changed their mind, right? And you haven't, because you haven't convinced them that you're remorseful. You're still, and hear me out before you reply.
Of course.
You're still deflective. You still say that you've changed, but the only reason you've changed from what we've gathered tonight is you've changed because your pockets got fatter. The subscription base went up, and that became more of a mainstream job for you. And so you don't want to lose that. So you're going to defend that under any circumstances. And so that was your motivation and the motivating factor for you not saying all of that stuff anymore. But if you did not have, No. Listen. That's why I said listen to me.
Okay.
That's why I said listen to me, and I'm gonna paint this picture. I'm painting the picture right now. And the only reason that you aren't saying those things and you aren't dabbling into that stuff currently in this year and last year per se, openly and publicly, is because you don't want the backlash. You don't want to be canceled. You don't want to be looked at as something else. But if you rewind back years back before, because you even mentioned it, well, back then I only had 30,000 subs. And I'll tell you this, 30,000 subs, on the crumb side is kind of a lot to a lot of people, right? So when you said I only had a measly 30,000, so I ain't give a fuck back then. I was like, oh shit, right? So now you got millions of followers and stuff like that. Now this stuff means a little bit more to you than it did back then. So back then you was ruthless. You didn't give a fuck. You said what you said. You felt how you felt. That was you. And now you're saying, well, I don't think that way no more because, for the fact my pockets got fatter. I got things to take care of. I don't want to get my channel shut down. I don't want to get canceled. So I'm a good guy now. So leave me alone about all this old stuff. This is why people are not listening to you when you say that you're sincere, because you never once said, well, I'm sincere and I apologize to all of those people that I offended by saying that this was wrong. I apologize. I won't use it anymore, and I haven't used it anymore. But more so, here's $1,000 Puertorock in your super chat right here. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
This guy's stupid.
No.
Shut up.
Hold up. You want to see what I had?
No,
hey,
but
check the screen.
I'm gonna say this. So I'm gonna say this.
Check the screen.
My screen. I'm the last person to show screen. So let's do post up. Real quick, post up said $20. No good will come from this. He is who he is and accepts who he is. I've been here for about 5 minutes and heard one clip. He is literally low-key mocking you all intentionally. Racism is taught, learned. He was raised this way. Oh, shit.
Holy fuck, man. You making some deep assumptions. Man, you must know my deepest, darkest secrets. Remember that time in 4th grade when I lit the toilet paper holder on fire? Holy shit. You know about that, too.
He's a diva. He was a diva when he was a kid.
Jaydub, my screen is stuck, so...
I got it. Drexviathan with the $5. I think that Actman showing us he changed will go a long way if he played The Last of Us 2. Oh man, hey, they are really on your ass about this Last of Us 2. I don't even know what the story is from this. God damn.
Maybe for another time. Is there anything else? You said check.
Who else we got here? You
said check the screen. Which screen?
That's
your share screen or?
Okay, I got it. Yeah, the Actman. What screen did you want him to check? Just the guy with the $2. Boo!
Wait for
Go
it.
back to your multi-plat box cap, man. Oh man, Dr. Phil with the $2.79. Actman he now knows that PlayStation Mafia runs Twitter. Absolutely. T-Easy with the $5. Actman, I love you. Welcome to the family. Fuck nigga. He said we will be over for Thanksgiving. Oh man, T-Easy. Not like this. They wild. Oh man. The Actman with the $100. Thanks for having me on, homie. Oh man. Hey, we'll take your $100. We'll take your $100. Integrity is a little bit, Flaffy 1101 with the $2. Does Actman go woo when his fingers move? Oh man, leave post up alone. Dr. Phil said respect to jaydub for checking act, but professionally about it. Sorry I doubted you, my brother. Listen, man, I'm okay, man. I can be an okay man when I need to be. Silver Ski, not Silver Sky, but
I call him Silver Ski.
I haven't talked to my brother in 5 years, and I still remember that Puertorock. That's why I said that.
He's like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "I thought it was Silversky. You have the beard. I thought you're like a Russian bear wrestler or something."
Hey, shout out to my brother in Dallas, man.
Oh my god.
He said, first time you put the hood on, were the eye holes in the right spot? Oh man. He said it was like on Django when they made the holes too big. Oh man. King Piso with the $10. Actman, as a white man, why do you feel comfortable using clips of black people saying the N-word? Is it a way for you to use that word for entertainment without being canceled? Ooh. Oh, see, I didn't know that.
It's usually just like a funny reaction, like that Russell Westbrook clip. Have you guys seen that?
When he's in the locker room?
What?
Now, let me ask you this.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Let me ask you this. So, Bean having that channel, This is just my personal opinion. I don't show that stuff on my channel. Like, but do you? That's a good question. Do you like you have clips on that? Do you feel at ease showing those clips? Like, do you feel any type of way? I'm just asking. I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't. I'm just asking. Now that this is all over, would you look back on your channel and be like, you know what? Let me ask you this. Because I'm kind of rambling. Like I said, I'm like Heath Ledger. I don't plan this out. Right now I'm a dog. Going forward, are you going to be more careful on the content that you say, the clips that you show? Are you going to like think like, wait a minute, this might not be the right clip for me to show? Is anything going to, besides the obvious Twitter conversations, as far as content on your channel, are you going to be more careful what exact content you're going to show? Are you afraid that people might take some things out of context? Like here on forward, how are you going to handle things?
I mean, at this point, I'm pretty careful. I mean, I know like what causes bad reactions and what causes like what you have it like controversies, and so in the process of making a video that I want to be entertaining and informative and whatnot, any clips of people talking that I choose are usually picked with care, because I don't say those slurs in my videos, so I don't got to worry about that. But as far as like reaction clips, like I like that Boondocks clip, if you guys saw that. But like, you a grown ass man.
Now here's my question. But now that let's say you've been highlighted. Let's just say that for the things just like you said, it's kind of like
he could never show a King Thrash video again.
You know what I'm saying? It's like Heath Ledger told Two-Face, you had plans. I just twisted it around on you. So you had plans. And this plan, it just blew up into something crazy and stuff like that. Now that you have the limelight, whatever, and as you can see, some people are not convinced. You have supporters that are convinced, but there is a divide. I'm not going to say how big the divide is. I would imagine majority of your YouTubers, the million, are supportive of you. So I would imagine your platform is pretty much safe. But there is a small divide. Are you concerned with that little small? Because you see what a little bit of gunpowder and gasoline can really do to this city, right? So a small little group of PlayStation fanboys really made this shit into a huge, epic. Well, epic's a bad word. It made it to what it is right now. I mean, think about it. Did you ever think a million subscribing YouTube will be in a dog shit channel called Puertorock 77? Like, fucking, you sunk real low right now. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Bruh, don't downplay yourself like that. You got a great voice. You're probably
calling the FBI wondering if I have my papers. No, anyway. So, now, all jokes aside, now that this happened, right? Is there anything you might be extra careful? Are you considering that? Not because this.
I think maybe tackling if when I do another console fanboys type video, I think tackling the Xbox side of things a bit more or diving into the darker side of it might be a way to be like, hey, I'm not ignoring those people either or what they've said, and kind of maybe balance it out a bit. But as far as like overall content, I mean, I don't really put controversial or like stuff that's too controversial or stuff that I need to be like, oh shit, should I, is this going to be too much? I don't really have to worry about that too much.
But how about now?
But for this video, I just didn't expect the type of reaction, of course. So, I mean, so some people might never be on my side, and I accept that. And like, I hope people in the chat and you guys, if any of you doubt that I've changed or you think horrible things about me, I accept the fact that I may never be able to change your mind, and it's not worthy of my time if I can't to keep diverting energy to that. So I'm gonna take care of people that are around me, and like, because you were talking about my bubble, but my bubble is pretty big. It's a very diverse crowd with a lot of different people from all kinds of countries, all walks of life. I get messages from everybody in every country you can possibly think of. So, like, I got a big bubble and a lot of different people, and some of those people are here right now. So, I think my major goal is just I'm going to take care of my audience and my fans and people that watch my videos and just try to make the best videos possible. And if I dip my toes into some of the controversies, or like if I want to do that Xbox video, I'll be sure to hit you guys up, because I'm sure you both have the deets on a lot of that old stuff.
All right. So let me do the super chat. We got post up. Yo, jaydub, you there? Okay.
Yeah. We got post up. With the $5. You can't put price on racism. I'm out. Oh man. Listen, we got Kayla Jones with the $5. Thank you, Kayla. It sounds like you took lessons on public apologies from Joe Rogan, or is it that you two have the same PR manager? Oh man.
Hey, good one.
Oh, man. All right.
One,
So
man.
I think
man.
ultimately we're gonna end off the show the way it is. Again, to the audience, ultimately, we wanted to have a conversation because, again, we seen this multiple times where big YouTubers, celebrities, whatever, they get caught with their pants down. And majority of them, if not all of them, would just make a statement or do a video on their own channel and then be the end of it. And then it just is what it is and they move on. Actman decided to get live, have the conversation with you guys, hear his side of stories, and let the court of public opinion take its hold. I didn't want to make this into a roast session because then I think he probably would have just left and it wouldn't give you guys the opportunity to hear him out. At the end of the day, you guys are the judge, court of public opinion. You guys decide if what he said was valid or whatnot. And I think one more super chat just came up.
Yeah. Emmanuel Mbala with the $10. We appreciate you. The question is, are you going to keep using racist clips and clips that use racist material in your videos?
So,
like, what do you mean? If I'm making fun of someone that was saying racist stuff, should I not put them saying it, or like I don't get the question.
The Actman, it seems like, because we've had several comments tonight that have said that they watch your content, but a lot of clips that you use show a lot of black people in a lot of negative light, and also, they think it's racist. Those clips are racist. Ooh. So with that being said, now this is the chat saying this. So with that said, and those are your followers, right? They obviously watch your content to know what you put up, right? So with that being said, would you take that into consideration in changing some of those clips to ease their minds, or is it a diehard with those? That's my channel. I run it how I want, and if you don't like it, leave. Like, you have to answer that to these people. Go ahead. You got the floor.
I think that's a loaded question, because I'm not, like, until you can show me what racist material are you referencing, because I have no idea what you're even talking about. If it's like a reaction clip of Russell Westbrook saying like that N-word's tripping, I don't think that was racist of him to say that, for me to put that in there. I don't get it. So I'll be more
specific, because this was addressed to me in DMs and whatever, right? So let's say a scenario, a console fanboy say something stupid, and then you cut the scene, go into Russell Westbrook, and he's like, N-word, you tripping. And then you talk. Some people will perceive that as you want to say that, but you put Russell Westbrook in this place to say it for you. Does that make sense now? Like, you see some stupid, you see a hot take. Yeah,
I could use any other clip in there if I really wanted to.
But I'm just trying to give you an understanding what they're trying to convey, because you're trying to get specific. Yeah. So somebody says something stupid, a stupid hot take, then the Russell Westbrook video comes out, N-word, you tripping. And then you continue with the video. Some people will take that as, or some people are now taking that as, you put that clip there because you want to say it. But since you can't say it, you're going to put that image to say it for you. Does that make sense? I'm just trying to give you the understanding of what people are trying to say.
Yeah, that's not why I put the clip there. I put it there because it was funny. The same reason I put King Thrash's little rant on Halo Infinite in my video, because it's funny.
So now let me ask you this. So now, because like I said, there was there was the day before the console war video, you know, your fanboy video, and now there's the day after, all the reaction. Now that we're dealing with post console cringe, right? And now people are looking at you with a closer eye. You know, people are now like, I'm watching you. Are those clips, do you think those clips, I'm just asking a question, do you think like using those clips now, you're thinking, wait a minute, people are watching me now, I could maybe understand what's, you know, do you see now those clips may be detrimental to you, or do you think they're still just in jest? I'm just asking. Remember, there's the day before the video, and now there's the world you live in now. It's amazing what 24 hours is. Now that you live in this world, and now this attention is on you, how do you see content going forward into like somebody does a stupid, you know, hot take, and now you use the Russell Westbrook clip?
Yeah, I mean, like if it really feels like it's something to avoid, like there's other reaction clips to use. Even earlier in that clip, he's like, "Bro, what are you talking about, man?"
Yeah,
like I can use that if I want. So I mean, that's something to think about.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's the day before, and then 24 hours later, there's a whole new light. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was just asking. Are you now are you going forward going to be a little bit more careful with the content that you release now that there's people like with their eye on you now, and not as compared to before when you didn't have this exposure?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. All right.
To a certain extent.
I think Emmanuel has another super chat.
Yeah, we got Emmanuel Mabala. Okay, so we got that. Emmanuel Mabala with the fallouts. Actman, those clips were never funny. You just have the white privilege of not being affected by it. Okay, he makes it.
Crash was funny.
No. It's he was talking about the clips earlier when he, you know, the other clips, some of the other clips, you know. Some of the other clips that you use, obviously, he's a watcher of your channel. Like I don't know. I don't watch your stuff, right? I don't watch your stuff. So maybe you go and watch your stuff. Sit back and watch your stuff and put yourself in somebody else's shoes, and maybe you can see things a little bit different. I don't know.
Yeah. The thing I will say about that is, like I said, my bubble is pretty big, and a big part of the change in my behavior is how content spreads, and how the larger your audience gets, the more diverse it is likely to be on the internet, and the more likely something you say could be potentially bothersome to someone else, or it could be like, you know, you're using this word that's offensive to this group, and you stop using that, or you stop making certain jokes. What I can say is I've been a lot more careful about those types of things over the last however many years, because my main goal is taking care of the people that watch the videos. You know what I mean? Like taking care of the people that like me, that look up to me, that watch my stuff, and making sure that what I post and the communities that I have are welcoming to all kinds of people, you know, or I should say most kinds of people, right? There's always like some shit, you know, some people you don't want in your communities, and we get rid of those people. You know, we chastise them if they're in the Discord server. So, I definitely want to take care of all kinds of people and make sure that they feel comfortable watching the videos, and that something I put in there doesn't like fuck them up on a personal level, right? If it's like, oh, I'm roasting plastic boxes for video games, it's like, yeah, you know, that's. But if it's something more personal, like something that you can't change about yourself, the type of person you are, then yeah, I'm more careful about that, because I don't want to upset, you know, I don't want to alienate any part of my audience with that stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. Got another super chat from Lucens 2.
Lucines too. I'm a follower of your channel, and I will continue to be one. I cannot and will not judge you, because it's not up to me or anyone else. At the end of the day, we live in a society made of glass.
Okay. Hey, what's your favorite console?
Yeah. No, that's Yeah, Xbox. Everybody got that's an Xbox scare. Cracial Black with the $5. The amazing Lucas, the amazing Lucas, a PlayStation fanboy, has used some transphobic statements. Gonna call him out, or you must protect your own.
Oh yeah, that dude. He's got some homophobic jokes in like very recent videos in the last couple months.
I don't even watch his stuff. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
So if you would have came into my radar, I'd be like, oh, here we go, and another one.
Yeah.
All right. So all right. So we're gonna wrap this up. So this is it. Hey, again, to finish off the show, court of public opinion. Hit up the comment section. Let me know what you think. Did he atone for his sins, or do you think he's full of shit? I don't know. You know, this at the end of the day, the whole point of this was to get the conversation out and not to be a witch hunt, whatever, because it's rare that somebody would actually get on the platform and actually talk live about this and address the members of the gaming community, the channel, the chat, whatever, and you guys got the opportunity to directly talk to him. And Amenwell has another one. He says, Actman, you learn nothing. You don't have to. Keep living in your white privilege, but don't pretend you're a good guy. Okay.
If I keep doing that, will you keep donating to Puertorock
we're
over
gonna
here?
shut this. We're gonna shut this down. Hey, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
You all enjoyed the conversation. This is different. This is new, and this is, I think, the first time we've seen something like this. But again, you let me know in the comment section what you think. Actman, interesting guest. This is
interesting conversation.
2022 started off with a bang. And I will say, hey, jaydub, you got anything to say?
I do want to say this, man. For everybody out there in the chat, thank you for coming by. Again, we kind of told you up front what our goal was for having this interview in the first place. It was to give him a chance to explain himself. And it was a chance for y'all to break his legs, to do whatever y'all want to do and say whatever y'all want to, whether y'all, hit him with the tomatoes, some stones or whatever. But, if you can tell, but me and Puertorock, we put it in a fashion of we wanted him to answer these questions and not, I know a lot of people wanted us to bring him on here and stone him, right? Just start beating his legs all day. Guess what? This show would have been 2 minutes. The moment we would have attacked him like some like just like nothing, he would have left. You wouldn't have got nothing out of it. So, but our goal was to hear him out. Hear him out, right? Our goal. No, I'm gonna tell you this, brother. You new to these streets, man. Trust me. We some savages, right? But the goal, right, was to let you see exactly who he is. And let him explain exactly who he is, and you make your own judgment on that. Just and I know a lot of people probably mad. They wanted us to take that spear and chuck and stuff, and we did a lot, right? We asked the tough questions. There was no curveballs here. There was no softballs. We called it what it is, and he displayed exactly who he is. He said who he is, how he thinks, what his messages were, and the time frame he gave you the context. That's up to you to go out and make your videos, and to go out and say, hey, I'm gonna support him, or I'm not supporting him, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But shout out to Puertorock for even hosting this, right? Shout out to him for hosting this. And again, y'all know when me and Puertorock together, you know what I'm saying, we gonna keep it, we gonna make it do what it do. Hopefully y'all had a good time. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it is what it is.
Like jaydub said, this was ultimately to give you guys the opportunity to ask him the question. That's why I said in the beginning, if you're gonna do super chats or talk, this is your worthwhile moment, because I don't think if we see another situation where another YouTuber goes through the same drama, you probably won't see that person live on air. They'll just do the basic game plan. So anyway, Johnson, Actman for president. Oh my God, we already had Trump. Now we got another one.
I got one vote.
So we're out of here.
Whoa, homie, whoa.
Hey, anyway, we're out of here. Y'all guys have a good one. Again, hit up the comment section. Oh, and I'm on TikTok. Look in the description. I'm gonna start doing skits, funny shit. Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, so it's Puertorock77_60 FNL. Hit me up there. Stay tuned for more stuff. I'm trying to go up to 30,000 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? What's dog shit for other people is big for me. All right, I'm out of here. You guys take care. See y'all next week. Peace. Give me a sec.